Basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-ball. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots, a dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say Zagak. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Let's start with the good news.
That's good news.
Greg Cody's alive and well.
Oh, that's good
Okay,
news.
okay.
I know everyone bated breath yesterday. We made a couple of jokes. People felt it was in poor taste. We didn't really get any confirmation from Greg himself yesterday. People were worried. But the good news is he's alive, he's awake, he's well. The surgery was a success.
Great.
So
But you said good news, so is there bad news?
there
here?
is bad news, man.
Yeah.
It is actual bad news.
It's actual legit shit news.
So last night, or early this morning, I should say, Miami Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra's house burnt down. And-
Like for real. It's not one of those where like the house
Caught
wing
on fire.
Like a Tyreek Hill situation.
Right. Like Eric Spoelstra's house isn't there anymore.
It looked like the LA fires, like burnt,
It's awful.
done. And so I heard this story early this morning. I was under the impression that the team was still on the road, and I'm like, oh, that's messed up to have to find out, on the news. Oh,
He
my
probably
God, man.
got back home like the middle of the night.
He was there, yeah. So they got back from the trip, and then the fire was reported at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my god.
And the news video there has him outside his house, like just standing there staring at it. And I have a lot of friends who lost their houses in the LA fires, and there really is nothing that you can compare that to in terms of that feeling that you've lost everything. And it's not about the material things. It's not about, obviously, Coach Spo has made a lot of money. He can buy a new house. He can rebuild this house. That's not the issue. The issue is all the things that can't get replaced.
Of course.
Right? All the personal effects, all pictures and memories and things. Obviously, when you have kids, your kids' favorite things, the report card where they got all A's and all that stuff, and that's all gone. And sometimes, that's the stuff that it's hard to explain to a child, right, or children. Hey, that we can't replace it. It's done. It's gone. It was a memory, and now we've got to move on.
I feel terrible for him.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I feel like especially growing up, you all have that. Everybody thinks like, well, what if your house is on fire? What will be the thing that you grab, to make sure it doesn't get burnt down, And of course, for me, it's my championship rings. But everybody's like, hey, what would it be the thing that you grab? Well, you can grab anything. Like the whole house burnt down, like it's gone. I feel awful for him.
At that point, it's more important to get your family and you out safely, right? Like, yeah, some things are irreplaceable, but also it's about being safe, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's things that are replaceable, some things are not replaceable, but in the grand scheme of things, 5, 10, 20 years down the road, not going to make that big of a difference. The most important thing is everybody's safe.
100%.
If there were kids in the house, kids are safe.
Well, you do assume it was just him, considering he likely got back in the middle of the night.
You never know. but at least humans are safe.
The news is everyone is safe. There's no one was hurt. You're right, Tony. That's the first thing you worry about. That's the first place your brain goes to, and you say thank God, and you count your blessings.
When do they play again?
But then I think they play tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
But then there's a beat.
Shit, we got to do everything all over again. 100%.
And again, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but like Rachel Nichols' house burnt down in those LA fires, and just the idea of that, her kids having to adjust to living in a new house, and the school, like everything that they know, right? The Walgreens they went to, done. The school, the public library, like all the things that was their life are done. And I think
and it's like, all right, where are you going to go live right now? For the next however, maybe the rest of the season.
Right. So I guess my thing is like when you're talking about kids as adults, I think I don't know if you went through this, Zaz. I remember before I had kids, I live anywhere. I mean, that's not a great neighborhood. It's a great deal though. I'll live there. And then you have kids who are like, I don't want to live in this neighborhood. What's the school district like? All these other things start to take precedent in the decision making.
Of course.
So, same thing here. It's like if I were a single dude with no children and everything, my house burned down, I'd be mad. Obviously, if I lost personal items that can't be replaced, I'd be distraught. But there's a part of me like, okay, deal with it. Move on. Next day, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? You're gonna cry about it? It's gone. It's done. It ain't coming back. But when you have kids in the equation, that's a little harder. It's harder to tell them. You can't tell them to move on.
Yeah, I mean, look, not to speak out of turn, he's divorced from the kid's mother. Like, who knows how often the kids actually live with him, especially during NBA season.
Sure.
But for me, it's more about like that's all your shit.
Yeah,
it's
man.
all your shit, and now you have no shit, and it's like figure it out. And that to me is, man, that gives me odds just thinking about it.
Even if the kids is there every other weekend, that's still my room. That's still my stuff. That's still the thing that I might have said, should I take it with me back to just leave it. I'll get it next time. And I was gone. And again, it sounds like I'm talking about material things, but we're not.
No, man,
we're talking about
real
things,
stuff, man. It's not material.
the emotional connections that people make, and specifically that children make. That as I said, an adult can move.
And now you got to
it.
make yourself a new home. That sucks, man.
Yeah, no, it
sucks.
It's a tough situation.
And again, people can be like, oh, he makes a ton of money, like he'll be okay. Yeah, well, of course he's going to be okay, but it doesn't take away from what I'm sure is a massive emotional toll that he is dealing with right now.
So prayers out to the Spolster family. Hope
that's the worst thing, right? Like outside of family members being sick or family members dying, losing your home is the next worst thing, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, yes. After if we're the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like number one is everyone safe and healthy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Boom. That's great. Okay. The next thing is shelter.
Yeah. Now you don't have a place to live.
I don't have a place to live, or for millions of Americans who are dealing with the government shutdown and the removal of SNAP benefits, like being able to eat. Like these are the very next things on the human need hierarchy. So health, something to eat, somewhere to stay. So
Schumer shut down.
Our thoughts are with the Spolster family. I hope everybody's okay, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. But to add insult to injury, Bam Adebayo got hurt last night. Foot injury early in the game.
Kind of a sneaky injury because I was watching the game and then it was less Bam's not there and it's like, oh, he's hurt. And I was like, well, when did that happen?
Did they
I didn't
ever
see
show
that.
any kind of replay? Because it was like mid-first quarter and Eric Reed was just all matter of fact, Bam's gone to the locker room. He's questionable return.
It was like, what?
I saw one angle where he's just running up the floor and then all of a sudden pain, right? I don't know. We don't have the details as far as what part of his foot. But obviously this is a huge blow to the Heat. They're off to, despite, what's a 500 record or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A positive start to the season.
Really tough schedule to start the season, too.
500 with the West Coast trip at the start of the season. That's pretty good. Jokic took full advantage. He had his 7th career game of 30, 15, and 15 plus.
He's a good player.
He's solid. Keep an eye out on him.
MVP?
If we're you know what?
Hold on. Wait a second. We'll slow down. Before we get into that talk, let me just give you guys a stat of the day. An early stat of the day.
Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day.
So last night, Nikola Jokic led the Nuggets in points, rebounds, and assists, but also he was the high man for the game, even over anyone in the Heat, in points, in rebounds, and assists. That's the 78th time he's done that in his career. That's the most by any player since the 76 NBA-ABA merger. Second place, LeBron James, 68.
So hold on, let's run that back again.
Yeah.
So Jokic had more points, rebounds, and assists than anybody.
More points than anybody, more rebounds than anybody, more assists than anybody.
And he's done
in
that
the game.
78 times.
78 times. And the number 2 guy on the list is LeBron, who's done it 68 times, 10 less times, despite playing, 11 years more than Jokic has played.
Good player.
MVP?
How good of a player?
It's so dramatic.
Of the day.
Zaz?
Yeah.
I know there's fatigue about this guy. I know he's won a bunch already, but he's already in mid-season playoff form. Nikola Jokic, my MVP of the day.
Yo. So if we're having a conversation about MVP, you got to include Jokic?
I have to. Even if he's not playing well, I have to include him because I know at some point he's going to turn it on and he's going to be better than everybody else on the court and in the league. So right now, today, Jokic, my MVP.
Just to clear things up for me and the audience.
Go on.
Yeah.
Conceptually, is this an MVP of the day like the imaging suggests, or are we still doing King of the Mountain style? Like Jokic is still trying to climb over Jaquez?
This is who is in the MVP conversation.
In the bar.
Yeah, that's what this is.
All right, so it's like Maxey and Jaquez.
Wemby.
If you've been
Jokic
listening,
and
those
Luka.
guys have
They're
been
all
in the conversation. That's right.
Oh, okay. I thought it was King of the Mountain style. Like you got to take them down.
Nah, come on. No, the MVP conversation bar, which is adjacent to this segment, but still I believe we're all in the same canon, the same universe. It's a bar. There's a guy outside, a bouncer. If you're not in the MVP conversation, you can't get in the bar.
That's right.
Right? So, for example.
It's like the Heisman Club.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
Heisman
bit like
House.
that.
Yeah.
Like Heisman House. Like,
MVP of the day.
thank you.
I'll tell you what.
So, I'll give you an example.
Were you about to do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know about
yeah.
those nuggets?
That's right. That's right.
I'll give you an example, right? Anthony Edwards, great player, right? Has been in the MVP conversation bar the last couple of years.
He's not in right now.
Right now, bounces out. Sorry, big dog, I can't do it.
I haven't seen that fool.
We're full today.
We're full today. It's like, hold on, check back with me. He's doing the bounce is doing all that stuff.
On Jaquez's list.
Well, I don't know if Jaquez.
Jaquez had a brief stint. He went to
No,
get a drink.
he's in. He got in.
No, he got in.
If
Yeah.
we're having a
Kick him out.
conversation about MVP, Jaime Jaquez is in the conversation.
Let me
So
tell you
he's a
something.
cover charge.
Yeah.
Gotta
He
get
got there for
that
happy
cover
hour.
charge.
Let me
2
tell
for
you,
1.
sometimes, Mike, you can get in the bar and they can eject you out.
Yeah.
You could be asked to
Is he
leave.
at that point?
Has
Is
he been
Jaquez
asked to
already
leave?
been asked to leave?
No, I don't think he's been asked to leave, but the problem is that Jokic came in with mad Serbians.
Yep.
So it's like, all right, we don't have that much
Exactly.
space.
So Anthony Edwards is at the velvet robe saying, "You don't remember me? I spent a lot of money here."
Yes, that's exactly what he's saying. But you know what? At some point, maybe the bouncer says, all right, man, you got it. You
What's
go
your
in.
name? What's your name? I want your name. This is going to be so funny for you. oh.
I know the owner of this
Yeah,
place.
you know, just wait.
The other part of the MVP conversation is the guys are in there. Okay, so you're in the bar, but they're all standing in a circle, and the guy standing in the middle of the circle, he's got a drink in his hand, and he's telling the craziest story, and everyone's silent just watching. That's the guy who's the front runner for MVP. The closer you are to that guy, the more your chances of being MVP is. Maybe you're also trying to jump in. Like, hold on.
Like SGA was there telling the story, but then Jokic came and said,
hold on.
Wait, listen to this.
Yeah, like listen to this. Exactly. The farther you are out, you're in the conversation, but
you're an earshot. You're not really saying anything. You're just listening. You're a listener.
So Jaquez, for whatever he was in the bar, he's
kind of peeking over the crowd.
He's just happy to be here. He's like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell everybody I was at the bar, and it was Jokic, and it was Shea, and it was Luka.
And Wemby was there.
He
was so
there.
bigger than everybody.
I think right now the guy in the center that you're talking about there is Luka.
Wow.
Luka is the one who's doing story time, holding the drink. But I'm going to tell you something. If we're going to have a conversation about MVP, we better have a conversation about Cade Cunningham. That's right. The Pistons last night improved to 6-2.
Hold on. He needs imaging. This just does not feel right without it. So there's two.
If he's in the bar.
Of the day.
I mean, Flair was cutting a promo during commercial break. What are we doing?
If we're going to have a conversation about MVP, Cade Cunningham's in that conversation.
What you know
right
about Cade
now.
Cunningham?
I know about Cade Cunningham.
You know about Cade Cunningham?
Pistons are now 6-2. Cade Cunningham, 31 points, 10 assists last night. If we're going to talk MVP, somebody better be talking about Cade Cunningham. That somebody sounds like it's me.
Buddy, you know when I was talking about Cade Cunningham?
When?
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last year's last
Are you
year.
not-
Yeah, but I was on the mountain already.
Are you not familiar with his very high stakes bit of getting highly touted prospects and having the gall to say this guy might be good someday? Are you not familiar with
That's
that?
your bit?
That's my
His
bit.
bit.
I would lose
He
that.
identifies a couple of people that he thinks have high ceilings, and he says, watch out for this guy. And then when they're all pros, he pretends like he's Colin Cowherd.
Watch out for this number 1 overall pick. Is that what you're saying?
There was a lot of people down on him. A lot of people didn't like the
He was
Pistons.
hurt.
I know. That's what I was saying. That was my point. He's hurt.
He's in the conversation right
good.
now.
He's in the bar.
Let me tell you something. Coach of the year, you better be having a conversation about Tiago Splitter.
Whoa.
Hey, how about career-defining win?
Dude.
Can you have a career-defining win?
Are they putting Chauncey
games
Billups? Are they putting Chauncey Billups under the jail? they're
From
like,
what I understand, Portland Trailblazer fans were thrilled that Chauncey's not the coach anymore.
I mean,
Wow.
it's a small sample, right? But this team is,
Good coach.
as a great would once say, awesome.
Man.
They just handed the defending champs their first loss.
Man,
With an asterisk.
you remember that game 2 in 2013?
Check out.
When LeBron blocked the interim head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, blocked him right at the rim. Shit was awesome. One of the best moments of my life.
Yeah. I hate Chauncey Billups. I'll
What?
say it. Yeah.
I hate him too.
Dude.
Not even
2004?
Look,
absolutely should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Dude.
Absolutely
you guys
not.
are nuts.
Like-
Oh, you're nuts.
You guys are
In the
nuts.
tier of opposing basketball team hate, Knicks aren't in my top 2.
Really?
I swear. And
Really?
I hate the New York Knicks.
Who's won?
Number 1, and they did a lot to earn it. They did a
Celtics.
lot to earn
Celtics
it. It was the
are one.
Celtics.
Celtics
Really?
are
But
one. Yeah,
number
Celtics
2,
are one.
I hated that
Pistons-
Pistons team.
So you got-
They were a roadblock for Miami.
Pistons over Knicks?
Dude, think of this Pistons
Okay, but
team.
is it Pistons over Knicks now because of your memories, or are you taking yourself back to the time
Taking
and
myself
place?
back to, and I had an intense hatred for the Knicks that went for several years, but the Pistons thing went for several years.
There's only 1 year they knocked them out.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. But the Pistons.
The Knicks knocked y'all out 3 times
Yeah,
in a row.
see, I disagree with you, Mike, here because I hated the
Do
Pistons
you remember
too.
Rasheed Wallace's face?
It's a stupid face.
It's a stupid face,
man, no,
Mr.
we're
Big
not-
Shot.
we're
I
not
hated
gonna
the
do
big
that.
face.
Be careful, guys.
Tayshaun
I care
Prince.
about you.
Don't you remember Pat Riley? His shot is like snow falling off a bamboo leaf. That's the highest compliment Pat Riley's ever bestowed upon him.
But the
an opposing
Heat
player.
never got past the Knicks during that stretch. Like the Heat they slayed the Pistons and they won the title.
But you're with me though. Sneaky team in terms of like the history of this
Oh, I
franchise.
hated those Pistons
People would
teams.
probably say Pacers ahead of the Pistons. And I was
No,
like,
no,
man,
we own them.
those-
Yeah,
I
can't-
we own them.
hated
No, we own
If
them.
you never lose to them,
Owned
then
them.
they can't
But it was
be
always
with
so close, though.
Sure,
That's
but-
the thing.
Nah, we made them believe it was close. It wasn't close. There was never a moment. There was never a time the Heat fans like
You weren't afraid of David West?
They were down 2-1 in
Dude,
2013.
the
It got a
Dexter
little-
Pittman start.
It got a
The
little
Dexter-
dicey.
the Dexter
It got a little
Pittman start.
dicey.
You're going to
down
lie to
two
me,
games
tell me
one.
you weren't afraid of David West? You're going to lie to me right now?
Dwayne Wade went to Tom Crean. He ran into Tom Crean's warm bosom.
It got a little dicey. Down 2-1, down by 10 at halftime in Game 4. It got a little dicey. I'll admit. Chauncey Billups should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, you're
Absolutely, he's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, Chauncey Billups, one time in his career, was All NBA. One time.
Okay.
It was All NBA, third team too, by the way. So you're telling me
we don't split hairs on that.
that's not splitting hairs. It's a real thing.
You're All NBA,
anyway,
you're All NBA.
Anyway, no, that's not true at all.
You're All NBA, you're All
You're
NBA.
saying there's not a difference between All NBA first team and All NBA third team? Anyway,
By the
we'll
way,
table that
he was
discussion.
3-time All NBA. Thank you very much.
Really?
He's a 5-time All Star. He's 2-time All Defensive Team. He's a Finals MVP, and gold medalist.
Was he ever All NBA second team or
you
only
okay there?
third?
Checked up.
Yeah. I was emotional during those games, too.
I thought he was
hated
only
those
All
guys.
NBA third team. Was he ever All NBA second?
He was All League. Here we go. Sorry. Second team.
Really?
So he's never third team.
He was 13.
What does it matter? He's going to jail
He's
for
13.
life. Tiago
Yeah.
Splitter.
Life.
He is the lead. He is the star witness for the FBI. Tiago Splitter.
He's the guy with the modulated voice on Pablo's podcast.
I just started running stuff in the half court.
Then I had a good shot. Then another good shot.
I should close out.
Is gut shot the phrase of the year? I mean, for those of us who don't play poker, like this concept of a gut shot, I'm like, oh, I kind of like it. I like the idea of how do you explain this Hail Mary blind faith? It's a gut shot. So, speaking of the sound, here's a transition for you.
I'm waiting to see where it is.
What's going on here?
Not the
Steamed Brussels sprouts.
I was about to say, not the Tony Romo
not the
sound?
Tony Romo.
Okay.
That's a different cut. Right? It's a little bit more elongated. It's a little bit more sensual. That's not where I'm going. I'm going with more like a gut or like an action.
That was like a.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the.
So
We're just changing the pitch.
So we're having a conversation, and Tony says out loud, "This new Running Man movie, is it a remake?" And I said, "You've never seen the Running Man. You've never even heard of it before this. No. So what are your impressions of the Running Man? What you've seen?"
But he's running.
He's running, right?
That boy's running.
So I figured out what it was, right? So I'm watching
It's Forrest Gump.
with Bountygate, basically. I was watching the commercial. Obviously, they play them on the NBA games or whatever, and I'm like, I like the concept. Mm-hmm. Basically, bounty hunters chasing a guy for 30 days. If he eludes them, you make $1 billion. Okay, I'm in. I like the idea. I like the story. So I asked Amin, it's got to be a reboot, right? There's no way that this is an original concept that just made it to 2025.
The Running Man
is it a remake or is it a sequel?
It's a remake. It's a remake because the original, which came out in 1990, I want to say, was massive. It's the type of action movie that, man, people, the global audience love. It's right behind you. I want you to turn around. Ah, yes, I'm the Running Man.
Wow.
Tony, no matter however good or bad the new one is going to be, you have to watch.
You're telling me OG Running Man was goated?
Goated. Wow. Goated. And it's a TV show. It's kind of prescient in a way because it's like a reality show.
Yeah, it's
Before reality
show.
shows were big. Reality show, and people are like, we can either sentence you to death or you can star on the Running Man.
So is he a criminal?
He's framed.
Of course.
He's framed.
Of course.
And then they give him the choice. Do you want execution or you can play the game? So he decides to play the game. But he's the best contestant ever at the Running Man. And the guy who's the executive producer of the show is like, nah, we can't have this get messed up. So he starts cheating and increasing the levels of difficulty. Excellent movie.
1987.
1987 was the Running Man. Wow.
Richard Dawson was the
Richard
game
Dawson
show
played
host
the game
on
show
it.
host.
Yeah. Really stretched his chops there.
Well, I thought you know what? Richard Dawson was ass off because he wasn't just a game show host, which is what he does in real life. He was a villain.
He also had the only comeback to "I'll Be Back" that I've ever seen in a Schwarzenegger movie. He said only in a rerun.
Got his ass.
That's a good line.
Oh, man.
So you're saying I got to watch the OG?
I think you should. Maybe after you watch the new one, maybe before. I don't know. But I know you have to watch it at some point because it really is a fun movie, man. It's back when action movies were action movies.
Jim Brown was in there.
Yep. Jim Brown was one of the guys.
I think it looks cool. Man, you never seen Running Man? Shame on you.
You seen Running Man?
Yeah, I've seen Running. Not the new one.
You're not allowed to do that.
Why?
You didn't see Rambo.
After yesterday's hijinks.
Whatever. I've never seen Rambo. Who cares?
And we discovered something this morning.
What's that?
I'm embarrassed to say this.
I'm very. Don't even say it.
Don't be embarrassed.
Don't even say it. It's embarrassing.
Zaz doesn't know about that 007.
It's crazy, man.
I never seen a single James Bond
That's
movie.
a sucker move.
No, I already
That's a
told you.
sucker move.
What I tell you about Call Me a Sucker?
Agree, it's a sucker
I already
move.
told you. I've never seen a single James Bond movie.
Hold on.
Doesn't even matter the actor. And here's the thing, though. I mean, here's the thing. I know I would like them. So it's not like I haven't seen them because I don't think it's. I know I would like it.
Quantum of Solace?
Oh,
Those Daniel Craig James, like I don't really care about the ones before. The Daniel Craig ones,
Fire.
Movies look awesome. Never
Think
seen them.
about a movie called Quantum of Solace. I don't know what it means. I know it's the coolest name of a movie I've ever heard in my life. Quantum of Solace?
You seen that Quantum of Solace?
Oh, of course I've seen it. Casino Royale?
Yeah, the movies look good. I never seen it.
So, you never played GoldenEye?
Yeah, man.
I never had. I don't know if I never played. I never had it. I never owned it.
You don't know about that GoldenEye?
Nah, I
That's
guess
the
not.
only thing that you need from the 007.
I know about Golden
universe.
Tee.
No, Golden Tee is.
I don't even know what that
nothing.
is. Was it a big dog pimping
So,
that?
Golden Tee is an arcade game where you have to get the ball, but sometimes the ball isn't properly.
Oh,
Look
they
at
had
his
those at
form.
the ale
doesn't have
house
the
all
right
the time.
lubricity, as Braun Strowman would call it. GoldenEye was the greatest video game of all time.
Spectre?
Yeah, you can keep naming all the films.
Skyfall?
I already told you I never seen them.
You don't know about that slappers only?
That's not a real name.
No. It's a game mode. You go.
Oh.
You can go big head mode. What was the best stage? Complex, where you go slappers only. You climb through the vents, and you don't have
Whatever,
the ability
man.
to have a gun. So the way to win the game in the multiplayer, it's like elimination. It's kind of like the Running Man. You go up and you just.
All right, sorry, I wouldn't spend all my time on video games. I was
Zaz.
hooking up with girls.
In
Whatever.
1990...
You're watching wrestling.
Yeah.
hooking
What are you
up
talking
with
about?
You weren't hooking up with girls, man.
You watching wrestling is funny.
Come on, no one believes that.
Zaz, in 97, there's a movie called Tomorrow Never Dies. Now, not only is
Holly's in that.
not only is that title cool as hell, Tomorrow Never Dies, but the premise of the movie in 1997 was there's a billionaire who controls and owns newspapers all over the world, so then he just starts creating fake news to create conflict to fuel his business.
Ooh, that's awfully foreshadowing.
That's what, in 97.
Wow.
1997. You got to watch that Bond, man.
Okay, so like, what do I go back in time, or do I just watch the Daniel Craig? What do I do?
Oof.
I would say
they're different worlds,
Yeah.
basically, right? You don't have to have.
There's a
one knowledge-
multiverse in James Bond. I didn't know that.
Of course,
No,
there's 8 different James Bonds.
No, but it's a singular universe.
Yeah. It's
Everything that happens
Is
has
the 007?
consequence. There's a 007, and it's just, they film these movies in different time periods, so Bond has different tech. You have to suspend that kind of disbelief.
yeah.
Do I have to? Okay, so let's say I'm just gonna watch the Daniel Craig ones. Do I have to start from the beginning? Like, do if I didn't see the one before, I'm gonna be screwed?
I think the best thing to do is you pick an actor, a James Bond actor, and then you start from his first movie and go on. So in other words, the Pierce Brosnan ones have no bearing
Right.
on the Daniel Craig ones.
Right.
But don't start the Daniel Craig one with like Casino Royale or whatever. You
That's
wanna
what I'm
start,
saying.
You want to start with the first. Actually, Casino Royale
That
was
is
the first one.
yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to start with like Skyfall or whatever. You start with Casino Royale, then Quantum of Solace, then Skyfall, Spectre, and finally,
Yeah.
No Time to Die.
What a
My
movie.
man said,
What a
"Hey man,
movie.
you got to die right now." I was like, "Oh, I ain't got
No
time.
time. Let me check in my Omega. Nah,
No
don't have
time."
it.
And also product placement. Mwah.
Yeah, beautiful.
They mastered product placement. You want to see that new Audi?
Yeah.
You watch that.
You know about that Aston Martin?
That new
I used to
Aston
drive an Audi. Whatever, I'm just saying.
Martin? Here.
Yeah, good for you.
You don't know about that Octopussy?
I know about Octopussy. If we're talking about the same one, I don't know if we are. I don't know.
I mean, you were probably in high school when GoldenEye came out on N64. It's a moment in time.
I was definitely not in high school. How old do you think I am?
Dude, I was in college.
I don't know.
I was in college, and that's all we played.
You dress like you're 22.
There you go. See, I'm young.
But you are the living embodiment of the Steve Buscemi, what's up, fellow kids, type of
Yeah, that's a vibe right there.
type
man.
of energy.
Speaking of video games, Donovan Mitchell last night had a video game type night. He scored 46 points.
Darius Garland finally
Oh,
played.
Yeah, shout out to
Transition.
Darius Garland. Yeah, there you go. But here's the real transition. He credited his 46-point outburst to a kid that was talking trash to him on 2K the night before. And he was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to show you. Because the kid said, you're washed.
Man.
Wow.
Those kids on those games, they can get your blood boiling.
They're nasty?
I don't even open the portal anymore. Just everything on mute, no headsets. Don't try to talk to me.
Am I the only one who's like, I don't want Donovan Mitchell playing 2K under his own name. If you want to be,
You need the burner?
yeah, man. If you're Jack Spade, all right, that's cool. But I don't
Shout
want
out Jack Spade.
I don't.
Spider Mitchell, 45. You don't
Yeah,
want that?
like, come on, man. And now it's like you're getting into it with kids online. And yeah, he scored 46 and haha. But it's just like, what if he had a bad game? First of all, he wouldn't tell us. But that kid be going around like, I knew it. I told him he was washed. Like, I don't.
Right. How many times did the kid tell me he was washed and he had a stinker the next game? We didn't know about it.
Exactly.
Is that an actual conversation? I don't know. I'm just jumping back in here on the sport. Donovan Mitchell seems like he's in his prime.
He is, but kids are kids. If you're 12 years old.
So it seizes on an insecurity. He's probably asking himself, do I still got it?
It's pretty good last year.
He said, here's a quote.
You're
This
only
kid
one way
pissed
away.
me off today. I'm sorry, it wasn't even the night before. This kid pissed me off today. I was playing 2K. I told him I was like, just wait. And he just called me washed up. He called me a bunch of things, but I love it. He's saying he ain't seen a highlight from me in a minute. And I just told him, all right, we'll see. This game was for that kid or grown man. Whoever that was, I appreciate you. I told him I'd give him a shout out too.
He may have got catfished.
We need to find that guy or that kid, whoever
Oh,
it is. We need
yeah.
to find him.
How about Allison? Can we get the kid who called
Find the kid that called him washed.
Mitchell washed?
But think about that. You're the kid, and then you see Spider Mitchell 45 or whatever his username is,
Yeah.
and you're like, there's no way, right? That can't
Yeah,
be.
how do you get them to prove it?
Be like, yo, are you Donovan
The
Mitchell?
voice, I guess. If you're chatting on
Yeah.
the voice, you hear the voice.
There's no way this was a kid. That kid looks like Stavi, baby. Not a kid.
He was good in the new movie, right? You went and saw that movie with
Yeah,
Emma Stone?
Begonia?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome in
He's
it.
coming down here.
Yeah, I keep getting ads for that. Targeted,
I'll
I
ask.
guess.
I'll ask.
That's
I'll
your
have
algorithm?
Yeah. What's yours?
Boobs, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good algorithm.
Yeah, not mine. But yeah, Savi was incredible in that movie. Not a large cast. He really stuck out because there were like 5 people in the movie. But yeah, he was great. That's a great. Emma Stone's just going to do this thing where every year she's like, I'm going to make a movie that'll get me in this conversation.
Make a movie that's really
I'm
weird.
going to make this like, yeah, that everyone comes away with that performance was incredible. That's just Emma.
Isn't
Emma's
it
thing now.
amazing? Like, do you guys have that same feeling? She's a little Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butlerish, where it's like the start of her career, like, oh yeah, it's doing fun little kid
Doing
movie.
Easy A,
and then all of a sudden it's like,
Superbad.
yo, you're one of the best actors in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like-
And now she might play herself in a Jordan territory where there's Jordan MVP fatigue.
Oh no way, no fatigue.
I thought this performance was better than Poor Things. I love this movie.
That movie looks so weird.
Poor Things?
Poor
Yeah.
Things. Yeah.
Poor Things was, and I didn't really like it. You would think that it would be made for someone like me, but nah, I wasn't. I understand why she won for her performance. It was, she was very committed, doing crazy things in that. It's a lot like your algo, but this one's probably closer to Tony's algo in terms of the subject matter that they tackle.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's a post-truth type of film.
That's your gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what that's supposed to
The
mean.
whole movie is based on these 2 guys kidnap this CEO who they are convinced
Begonia.
who they are convinced is an alien.
Why is it called Begonia?
That's her name, right?
I'm not exactly sure why it's called Begonia.
Okay.
Do they say the word begonia in the movie?
Does anyone go, he said it. He said it.
Is begonia even a word? What does it mean?
Sounds like
It's like a plant. Yeah.
yeah.
My begonias.
Yeah.
So it's not like the
It's like
planet
my
that she's from or anything
My
like that.
petunias.
Oh man.
Begonia sounds
I
right.
think
though.
begonia is a word, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of bees.
What's
in
a begonia? Here we go, Google. What's a begonia? A begonia is a genus of perennial flowering plants with more than 2,000 species.
Attaboy.
Native to moist, tropical, and subtropical climates.
Shout out to us.
I don't get the reference. Really. Maybe I have to watch it again. I didn't really see a lot of plants in that film.
Does it happen to you a lot that you see a movie you don't understand it?
I don't understand the title.
When was the last time that happened to you?
Tenet.
No one knows what that means.
Stupidest
Dog,
movie.
It is the dumbest movie ever.
I watched that. I remember Tenet, if you guys remember, came out in the middle of the pandemic, like the middle of the pandemic.
I risked my life for that.
In theaters. And I said, this is the movie. You guys remember me. I grew my hair out. I wouldn't go to the barber. I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't do anything other than go get groceries. That's it. I was living life like it was Mad Max. But I said the one thing I will risk my life for is a Christopher Nolan movie with John David Washington.
Movie
I was
sucks.
like, I'm there. I have never been more. To this day,
was
I
awful.
still don't understand what the fuck that movie was about.
Neither is Christopher Nolan.
It's I don't know.
It's the worst movie. Looked cool as hell in trailer.
It does look cool. It did. It looked cool. He definitely nailed the looking cool part
The
of the
bullets
movie.
go back in the gun. Stop it.
But they're still talking forward. Like if we're moving backward, we're not.
So stupid.
It was the kid Robert Pattinson. Who cares? Who gives a shit? This is bad. And you got the leads totally mixed up.
Oh, you think Pattinson?
Oh,
should
John
have
David
been
Washington was done after that.
Yeah.
Done.
It was beyond his depth, perhaps.
I don't think he had that much range.
I
It never was. Like, it was a great performance in Black Klansman, right? But
Sure.
it was the subject matter. Like, I think a lot of people could have played that role. And if you watched Ballers, you're like, this guy's got his limits.
That was my problem. I'm watching Tenet and I'm like, that's Ricky Jarrett. Though.
Yeah, it is Ricky Jarrett.
I can't see anything past Ricky Jarrett.
Well, he starred in 5 movies after that.
And they all flopped.
Yeah.
Black Klansman didn't flop.
No. After that.
After that.
Hollywood. The box office has told you.
What were they?
Don't make him your leading man.
Is that one movie where like he's trying to find the kid who's the key to like life?
The creator?
Yeah.
That was a huge flop.
Malcolm and Marie, Beckett, Amsterdam, the creator, and the piano lesson.
I never even heard of three of these
Malcolm
movies.
was a good one. It was the
Sucked. Probably
Oh
Malcolm
no,
Marie.
it was like it was an artsy movie.
Amsterdam was a huge flop,
Phobe.
but it had a lot of people in it.
That wasn't him. He was in the lead though.
No. That was a huge ensemble. That was just a big time flop.
Tenet, not a big movie.
Barbados, Carnival.
So welcome back, Billy, and I don't know where this particular tension is going to end up. Welcome back, and I also want to get to Mike Ryan. He does not agree with you on Hard Knocks, Chris. He doesn't.
Oh, trust me, we had a whole text exchange last night. I almost drove to his house to fight him.
Yeah, you guys have very wildly disparate opinions on the Oakland Raiders and Hard Knocks. But first, Billy, welcome back. How was your honeymoon?
It was good. Thank you for asking.
Oh, he's tightened up his game now that he's refreshed. Okay, things are
It's
just.
just so hot today, Dan. I don't know what's going on with the air, but luckily I have this little fan that I bought before a hurricane that I have plugged into my phone, so like it's keeping me nice and cool.
I'm so jealous.
You guys should get these. These things are awesome. Look at it. Dan, you see this thing? Look at this.
Can you please tell me about all the awkward things that happened to you? Did anything weird happen to you in Barbados? Like what kind of, just give me some awkward Billy on his honeymoon stuff. Is there anything that
The non-awkward would be a much shorter story.
Yeah, I wonder how this is going to go. What's the best you got from your honeymoon? And then we'll move on to other things like Antonio trying to steal your job.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Oh yeah, We welcome in David Sampson. Nothing Personal with David Sampson is the show. You listen to it every day. You catch it wherever you get podcasts, on DraftKings Network, on YouTube, wherever you find yourself listening to stuff. And David, we got a lot to get to. The greatest World Series of all time, all that stuff. I know usually we hold the movie talk to the end, but I did want to include you in this conversation we had right before you came on about The Running Man. Tony just found out that it's a reboot. He asked, should I watch the original one?
He didn't know anything about it.
He didn't know anything about it. We had to teach him about it. But he asked, should I watch the original one? Would you, as a movie aficionado, suggest that he wait to watch the old one after he watches the new one, or to watch the old one first and then watch the new one?
I'm not going to be that guy because I don't want to turn into my father where I say the original is always better. You got to start with the original. No. I'm new age, man. I'm young now. Forget the original. Go with the new one. Forget the original. It's old. It's 1980 something, like 7. It's so long ago. You probably weren't even alive. So screw it. Just forget Arnold. Forget Dick Dawson and go right to GP.
But I like Arnold, though.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then watch that one first.
Okay, thank you.
But
It's
don't you
so
find,
good.
David,
There's no way this remake. So I have a question that I'm asking myself, which is, am I even going to watch this one? It's like me watching Colin Farrell, who I love, but I'm really taking the time to watch Total Recall. And I did, and I regretted it. Am I going to take the time to watch Russell Brand in Arthur? Forget it. I'm a Dudley Moore guy. But I did it, and the new ones are never as good as the originals. But I'm old.
Manchurian Candidate? The new one was better than the original.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Denzel.
That is interesting. So there are examples, but I think that one, the original Manchurian Candidate, is a different even generation than the Arthurs and the Total Recalls of the world. So in that case, I'm with you, where I would always prefer the new ones just because it makes me feel more current. But when they're redoing movies from the 80s, it makes me insane.
David, Christopher Nolan does amazing movies, but would you agree that Tenet is a piece of shit?
No, I think that it just wasn't received well because no one understood it.
Did you?
Probably
Did
a key
you?
element to making a movie.
Yeah, I'm with Zaz. Did you understand it?
I did not understand it, but that is not directly correlated to whether I love something because I leave movies often where I have to ask my girlfriend, hey, what just happened? Or I don't understand a whole lot of stuff that goes on, and I don't necessarily use that as my sole barometer. I have an appreciation for that movie and what sort of the movie of it, the technical movie of it, without understanding it at all.
I don't agree.
I mean, his explanation was even more confusing than the plot. It's a bad movie. That's a word salad. It's a bad movie. And what are your thoughts on John David Washington as a performer? I know we had Black Klansman that was well received, but in terms of stretching his chops, after that, he is a failed leading man, and the box office has spoken on that with with finality, I think.
Oh, it may not be finality, but they certainly have spoken. But Mike, I would ask you, do you have to like a piece of art in the Louvre to appreciate the fact that it is great art?
I like ambition.
You have to at least understand it.
Understanding it, it was so convoluted. It was a real Christopher Nolan heat check, I thought, and it probably worked against the film's best interest that there wasn't anybody in there because he has such creative power saying this is way too damn confusing even for you. And I also think they got the lead switched up. I don't think the lead was as charismatic. Maybe if you had a more charismatic lead, people would care about the main character more. I ended up caring more about the supporting cast.
Mike, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is something I've held for the last maybe 5, 6, 7 years. I used to always, a movie comes out and then the director's cut comes out. Yeah, show me the version that the studio haters didn't want us to see. So what's a little longer?
Give me that Snyder cut.
Give me the raw, uncut, right? And now I'm like, man, the studio was right, man. These guys need editors. They need editors. Otherwise, it's like fever dreams, David.
Yeah, so I never minded seeing things or reading things that I didn't understand and just appreciating the quality of them. Like with poetry, hard for me to understand. Shakespeare, hard to understand, but you're just appreciating what you're reading. As I said, art, movies are the same for me. I just love, there's a bunch of action sequences, action movies where I really don't understand what's happening. It doesn't make sense. I can't keep track of characters. Like there was a recent show I watched, Mobland.
Oh, yeah, Mobland. Great show.
I loved it. But I'm not sure that I really remembered which characters were what and who was doing what to who and hating who. But I still appreciated it as a great piece of, seeing Pierce Brosnan, James Bond, by the way, Zaz. Outrage that you've never seen a Bond movie.
I know.
It's
no
stupid
defense.
to me, actually.
I have
it
no
makes
defense.
No sense.
I even said it's not like I'm not seeing it because I'm not into it. I know I would like them. I know it's embarrassing. I get it.
I just don't understand the concept of knowing that's what threw me off in the first hour. When you know you like something and then still don't do it, that is maybe the poorest reflection on going after your own hedonism that I've ever heard.
How about this, Zaz? I'm going to read you a little synopsis of Skyfall for James Bond, Daniel Craig, right?
Okay.
James Bond's loyalty to M is tested when her past comes back to haunt her. When MI6 comes under attack, 007 must track down and destroy the threat, no matter how much the personal cost.
Oh, come on.
We're all the same.
I like that. That sounds good.
Not all of them are the same, Dave. Not all of them are the same.
I like that.
It's the British version of Mission Impossible, right?
Another goated franchise.
Another goated franchise, but also I walk away sometimes thinking to myself, in your defense, Zaz, like, what was that movie about? I don't remember. I don't remember what Ghost Protocol was about. Mike will remind me.
He was disavowed.
He was disavowed again?
Government.
Oh,
Do you not get that?
Is that the one where Henry Cavill does the cool thing with his fists?
No.
Oh. I like
One
that.
of the great things about Bond movies is that it makes you realize sort of where you are, what you love, what you don't love. Maud Adams was one of, along with Shannon Tweed, I would say, are the first two examples.
Of course.
Well, there was a movie called Hot Dog the Movie, one of the worst movies you'll ever see, except it was fantastic. And Maud Adams was in a Bond movie called Octopussy, which was mentioned by Tony early in last hour. And that's a movie you just see because how do you not see it when you're 13 years old and instead of studying your Haftorah, you're watching Maud Adams and trying to figure out how the world works. So I think that, Zaz, you have an opportunity to do something with your kids to open them to a world of greatness. And I think you should start, like during COVID, I'd never seen a Marvel movie or a Harry Potter movie, or Lord of the Rings, and I watched them all during COVID. I think you have an opportunity right now during the government shutdown, since you can't fly. I think you have an opportunity to watch every Bond movie with your children.
American Airlines has buses now, by the way.
You know about that auto pussy?
I do. I don't know if we're talking about the same one, but I know about that. Yeah.
It's a big story. I mean, especially for you going back and forth. It's an absolute nightmare. Everyone figuring out which are the 40 airports that they're going to cut the flights. And the good news is the FAA, the head of the department said, we're doing this proactively. We're not going to react to plane crashes. We're going to try to avoid them by delaying flights and canceling flights right now.
Yeah,
I thought that was super nice of him.
10% of flights are getting cut back while this shutdown is going on in anticipation of the increased travel during holiday season, which is right upon us. They're saying, show up to the airport early. I'm like, to find out that my flight got canceled?
No, you'll know in advance, but there's one rule that you can learn by watching The West Wing, or you can learn just by living, that like an air traffic controller strike or a government shutdown, those do not fly, or that's a misuse of that word.
Good job,
Those
David.
you can't, thank you. You can't have that happen during the holiday period. October is generally a slow month for travel, so things aren't insane. But come Thanksgiving, you can bet your keister that this will be taken care of, because the airlines will not in any way accept a reduced schedule during holiday travel.
Do you think it gets resolved? You think the shutdown gets resolved before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it has to. It absolutely has to.
I thought I read that people think it's going to be back this weekend.
Really?
I guess.
I think that the pressure is being brought to bear. So how is everyone? Everyone reacts the same way. If it doesn't affect me, then I don't care. We had election day this week, and the results. Miami was especially horrible about voter turnout, where such a small percentage of people use their right to vote, which makes me insane, obviously. However, I would tell you that it is a very big deal to have a government shutdown only when it starts impacting citizens. And air traffic is one of those things that starts impacting people when they want to see family during the holiday time period.
Zaz, you know about that Spectre? A cryptic message from James Bond's past sends him on a trail to uncover the existence of a sinister organization named Spectre. With a new threat dawning, Bond learns a terrible truth about the author of his pain at his most recent mission.
Yo, that sounds good. I like that.
It was City of Miami and Hialeah, basically local governments that just exist for sports owners to extort.
But still, 20% of eligible voters showing up, I think you'd have to agree, is a number that should be embarrassing to you.
It's also super old people that live in both cities, right? So it's not like a massive Miami thing. Like Kendall doesn't have voting.
I love Kendall.
My man.
I love Kendall.
You should be mayor of Kendall.
K-Town.
I want to be.
Would you consider that?
If they put a zip line at the top of the Elster, absolutely.
We will never incorporate.
Thank you.
We will never incorporate.
Unincorporated, proudly.
Yes, unless a sports owner comes along and wants to extort us and promise us the world.
Or the water park at MetroZoo.
That's big on the docket. Then we're willing to listen. Are the Tigers really going to deal Skubal?
If they're smart, they would.
Yeah, if they're smart. This guy seems amazing, and he pitched lights out for them. They got it to the playoffs. Why would this be a smart move, getting rid of one of the game's best arms?
Because this is when he's at his most valuable, the year before free agency. And I'm not saying they'll get it right, because it's possible that they'll trade for Miller and Maben and they won't work out. And it's possible Skubal will be an MVP and a Hall of Fame guy. However, you have to maximize your assets, and trading players a year too early is way better than trading them a year too late. And you can turn Skubal right now. You can turn him into way more than Skubal, especially with pitching injuries that are happening left, right, and center. The ability of pitchers to sign long-term. Only a few teams want to do it. Nobody should do it. So that's the whole goal when you've got assets, whether it's stocks, whether it's currency, whether it's players, whatever it is that you're quote unquote trafficking in, the key is to sell high and buy low. And there is no higher selling than Skubal out of Detroit right now.
But aren't they a contender?
Yes.
So why do that? Is it not? I know it's not. Apples
They're going to get
apples.
major league pieces. They're going to get depth.
But
they're going to get an opportunity. Skubal had,
contenders
I would
don't do
argue,
this.
his
It's like
second
saying,
straight.
Yamamoto, get out of here. Like, I don't understand. It's counterintuitive to a team that's like pretty close.
Well, as I recall, he won Cy Youngs 2 years ago. I believe he's going to win this year. He's a finalist. He's going to win. That'll be 2 Cy Youngs in a row and a total of 0 World Series, 0 League Championship Series appearances. So in baseball, having a Cy Young winner is amazing. Having a number 1 starter, hard to find. But guess what? It's time to churn if you're the Tigers, because you're not going to have a top 5 payroll. You're not going to be able to sign him long term, very likely. Therefore, maximize what you're going to get from him.
David, in basketball, we see a lot of monkey see, monkey do. People see success and then they try to emulate the success. In baseball, we went through this phase where everyone's like, starting pitcher doesn't matter. We're just going to have bullpens. Guys are going to pitch 4 innings, and then we're just going to cycle through. And now the Dodgers came out, and they won a World Series basically on the backs of starting pitching. Do you anticipate a shift in philosophy back to the importance of the starting pitcher?
Well, really what you're seeing to mean is what the Dodgers did is something called load management, which had never happened in baseball before. Baseball, there were times when you're playing guys 160 times. Sometimes you had what was called a Sunday lineup. So guys would play 6 days but sit the 7th day like they're resting for Shabbat. What the Dodgers did is they went full Billy Epler. They secreted people away on the injured list, and all of a sudden the pitchers were healthy and ready to roll for October, and they were fresh as tomatoes on the side of the highway. So I think that's what's going to be copied. Baseball's very much a monkey see, monkey do sport. When that started with the shift, that starts with all sorts of things. I think next year, and it's going to be a CBA issue, you are going to see load management all of a sudden become a topic of conversation, because that's really what the Dodgers did.
Speaking of CBA, I was fascinated. This is probably about a week ago. You were on the sporting class, and you got a lot of heat for what you talked about the WNBA CBA.
Yeah, people are mad at you.
God dang, that was crazy. People just don't get it, but that's okay. Go ahead.
This is one of those times where I'm like, yeah, I agree with David. I feel like the WNBA is experiencing this massive explosion in fandom, which is awesome, but it's a fandom that is not familiar with some mechanics of professional sports, and one of them is collective bargaining agreement negotiations. And this idea that, you know, they could just walk in, well, the men get 50%, we get 50%. I'm like, that's not how negotiations work. Like, in some way, David, I don't think they understand that the men and women who are negotiating in that boardroom don't care about winning Twitter and threads. They care
It's
about
a funny thing.
They care about money. And it's like, I'm not just going to give you money because, oh, it's a little embarrassing for me every time I open up this app. Are we just cynics, David, or what's happening here?
Well, no, people got angry because they thought that I made up the fact that the women were asking for the same percentage of revenue that the men were asking for. And I got that from the people who are negotiating.
Yeah.
And Pablo actually came out and tweeted the passage that showed where I got my information from. And here's what I was trying to explain to the people who believe this is the moment for the WNBA and the women who believe the same thing. This is not your moment. Here's what it's your moment to do. Not get where the NBA is, because you're ignoring the reality of the WNBA's finances. Forget expansion fees. Forget Caitlin Clark. The reality is the WNBA is not in even remotely close to the same position as the NBA, and therefore there will not be the same CBA. However, what the women have the ability to do that I would argue the men do not. The women have the opportunity to just leave.
Yeah.
86% of the players in the WNBA are free agents. Do me a favor. Go join Maverick Carter. Go to Plan B. Right. It may not be called Plan B. That's a thing.
That's something
for after
else.
That's
dating. I can't believe I just got that
twice.
wrong. It's called something like Plan B. I don't know why that's
second
in my
option,
head.
Dave. Second option.
David, it doesn't even matter what they go to, because you've got the European leagues where many of them make the majority of their money. You've got China. You've got the unrivaled. You have a plethora of options that, unlike would it happen to the NBA, that where we'd say those other options don't pay as well, these options all pay better.
So I don't understand the whole concept. And you saw a player just today, and now, of course, please help me. I forgot the name of the player, and I forgot the name of the league, but it is Maverick Carter's women's league that he's starting, where she's a former MVP, and she announced that she's going to go play for this league. What the WNBA needs to decide right now is, and both the players and management is, are we an entity that has the ability to continue to grow and continue on a path which they've never been on? They've never proven that they can be successful either on the court or off the court. Is this the time where the WNBA says that we can be a going concern, number one, and number two, we can be the best in the world? Because that's what Major League Baseball is. That's what the NFL is. That's what the NBA is. That's what the NHL is. WNBA is not that. And in order to do that, it's more than just paying the players more. It is the question of, is the concept of women's professional basketball, is that the possibility of only having a monopoly of one major league which pays the most? And what's proven over the last 2.5 decades? No.
The player's Nneka Ogwumike. She is the sister of Shanae Ogwumike, who's on ESPN a lot. And Nneka is signed with the league is called Project B.
Project B. So I was thinking Project X, which is another movie that Zaz hasn't seen.
You've never seen Project X?
I've seen that. It's with Michael Jordan.
No.
That's not the one with Michael B. Jordan?
Project
Matthew Broderick?
I thought it was Matthew Broderick, but I could be wrong.
Oh, I'm
No,
thinking of a different
that's
movie.
the thing where Buddy has a house party.
Yeah.
And then his family.
That's what I'm thinking. What's that
Michael
movie
B.
called?
Jordan's in that?
Yeah, what's that movie called?
Project X.
Project X. He's not in that movie.
Miles Teller is.
Miles Teller's in that movie. Yeah.
And Michael B. Jordan.
My man Dax Flame is in that movie. Shout out to
Roy, what am I
Bad Friends
thinking
podcast.
of? Am I having a moment here?
You're thinking of the Matthew Broderick movie that involves a
War Games?
chimpanzee? No.
No, there's a
Not
Project
War
X.
Games.
There's a Project X movie with Matthew Broderick. Yes.
Thank you.
And
Okay, I
Helen
feel way better right now.
Speaking of movies, Zaz, you know about that No Time to Die? James Bond has left active service. His peace is short-lived when Felix Leiter, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Bond into a trail of mysterious villains armed with dangerous new technology.
I think you're screwing him, Tony.
Well,
I
that
think you ought to
sounds
be
good.
reading about For Your Eyes Only. You ought to be telling him about Christopher Walken. You ought to be telling him about Grace Jones.
That's A View to a Kill.
Yeah.
Great song,
View
too.
to, yeah. Oh yeah, Duran Duran.
Duran, baby.
What do you know about Duran Duran?
I know about Duran Duran.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you name two members of the Duran Duran band?
Yeah.
Duran and Duran. Roberto Duran and Jalen Duran.
But Tony, tell Roy just in case.
Just in case what?
In case he doesn't know.
Duran and Duran.
Keep moving. Juju, put it on the poll. Can you name two members from Duran Duran? Wait, can you name one member of Duran Duran?
This is impossible to believe that no one's going to come up with Nick Rhodes or Simon Le Bon. Is it really possible?
Yes.
I would guess Mike. I would have, if I had to
don't know
bet
that
money, I
fool.
would say
Simon
Mike.
Le Bon.
Where's Duran?
Where's Jalen Duran?
There is no Duran in Duran Duran.
What? Then who's Duran?
It's
Simon
just
Le Bon.
Duran Duran.
False advertising.
Man,
Great way to
soup.
make people believe that you knew all along is just say a name in the tone of Paul Rudd. Simon Le Bon.
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. David, Chris Greer got fired. You believe that it's a move, but it's not the move.
What does that mean?
What's that mean?
Ooh, thank you for letting me talk about the Dolphins on your non-local hour, because Stephen Ross was under so much pressure as an owner, because on this show, I believe I posited that he's the worst owner in the history of South Florida.
Really?
And that's saying something given where ownership has been in South Florida. He hasn't won one playoff game in the 18 years that he's owned the team. Not one. Not one. But he has created a ton of value. Using public money, Mike Ryan, plenty of public money that he has used to build his fiefdom out there near Wayne's World with F1 and tennis and all the other stuff he's done. Plenty of public money, even though people don't talk about it. So the team stinks over and over again. Poorly spent money. Unable to find a way to get something together. What do? You have a GM and a coach. Both of them need to go. The coach is lost. You go to his press conferences, you speak to local media who are going there and looking at him and listening to him. The guy sounds like a babbling idiot, and that's what happens when you come off as quirky when you haven't yet proven whether or not you're great. And then once you're not great, the quirkiness becomes babbling idiocy, and that's where McDaniel is. So the question is, why would you get rid of Greer and not McDaniel? Because you're in the middle of a season where something good might happen? No, the Dolphins season is over. Because you still believe that McDaniel has the locker room? Who cares? It's so overrated. He doesn't have the locker room because they're not winning. My view is you do a clean sweep and you show your fan base that you are going to bring in a Bill Parcells type. You're going to bring in someone and give them total control over all football operations from start to finish, including coach, drafts, everything. The problem is Stephen Ross may be pushing up daisies. I'm not wishing, but he's not young. And so does he not have time for what is required other than what the Dolphins do, which is get mired in mediocrity? Is it possible he doesn't feel he has the time for a complete redo? Because what firing Chris Greer was like, putting a Band-Aid on a, 3-inch, 3-deep cut.
We got Mike McDaniel's latest press availability. Let's hear it.
They've beaten us because they've scored more points and done the right football things longer than we have in those games that we lost. I think that that's the measure of a good football team, is being able to win particularly there's been a couple one-score games.
I like sitting right here
as of late.
Hold on, let me keep going.
We've lost.
I don't think I want to do this.
And you don't want to hear them kind of like
critical
stutter his way through this. Excuse me, man.
No, this is
your
play this in Gitmo.
Wish you could have them back play the fourth quarter.
No, we can't.
Anticipating that.
We know where it's going. Fade it down. I can't do that.
What do you know about Gitmo?
I'm gonna say this, by the way.
I was told that was a 7-minute clip. I can't do it.
You know what he looks like when he's talking right there. He looks like you talking about the Canes the other day. Zero eye contact with anybody. But the head is moving so much.
It's tough. As someone that also is well known across this great land as being a face of a program. Monday was tough.
I'll tell you,
very tough show.
Like, can you imagine? That's because that's how he sounds. That's how he sounded from the day he got here. Can you imagine if the bad team was the first couple years that he was here, as opposed to them doing the winning? Like, how do you survive sounding like this?
You don't.
They teach you in law school when you are presenting to the jury or to a judge that it's okay to be silent, and people use and as verbal crutches, and it's unbelievably difficult to listen to. And the coach of the Dolphins is the number one guy with the it's brutal.
I'm curious, which law school did you go to, David?
I went to Yeshiva University, Cardozo, Benjamin N. Cardozo School of Law.
That's not a real school.
Benjamin Cardozo is a high school.
American
It is.
It's a high school in New York.
Real law school.
That's what Skip to my Lou went.
Thank you.
Benjamin Cardozo High School, man. Shout out to
You
my.
just said it's not a real law school. Is that you, Mike?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like one.
Okay.
I don't know that fool.
What movie are you reviewing for us today, David?
So I went to a theater. First time I've been to a theater since
Tenet?
COVID, because I needed to see one battle after another.
I mean, don't you want to support movies? You haven't been to a theater since COVID?
Oh, I support movies. I spend $19.99 and I get movies when they're streaming. I'm going to do it this weekend. I'm going to do plenty of. That is Cardozo School of Law in New York City. And you can actually go through, for those of you not watching on the Dan Le Batard YouTube channel, there are you can look, I was even chairman of the board of this, but there are amazing rankings of things that we do, clinics. The Innocence Project with Barry Scheck started there, Mike Ryan.
Oh, my bad.
That is where DNA is used to clear people unjustly in prison.
I'm sorry, I didn't know Barry Scheck was affiliated.
You know about
with
that
this.
Innocence Project?
That is my mistake.
Barry Scheck.
Just so you know, Enron has a website. You can do crazy things
Do
with
they?
tech these days. Yeah, there's like a fake Enron that's like a whole like. It's trying to make a point. And the point is like
one of my
they think you're
favorite
stupid.
one of my favorite things. I remember in business school they said we should have known that they were crooked because their logo was a crooked E, and like, oh shit, it was right in front of us. It was right in front of us. No, but David, you said one battle after another. You saw it in the theater, right?
So I did go to a theater, and I was struck by two things. One, I was able to sit through 2 hours and 41 minutes, no phone, no eating, and no talking of any kind. No distraction. And it's a long movie. Now, I did purposefully choose a theater that had those seats that recline. That was important to me because I didn't think I could sit in a regular folding chair for 2 hours and 40 minutes because why?
Do they still make
And
those
I was
things?
Yeah, what theaters don't have the stadium seating?
Everyone's got the recliner.
Not
ones.
everybody.
That is not accurate.
There's a couple of them out there.
Not in
$2
New York,
theater?
at least.
Hey.
So what this movie did is it got me from the first minute, the opening scene of this movie, and I think people underestimate, you've got like 3 minutes in this day and age. And James Bond is one of the great examples. The opening of James Bond movies, you're done. You're hooked. It is set right before he comes on and shoots the eye blood. You've got yourself an action
cool it on
movie.
the spoilers, David. All right, fine.
The spoiler of the intro to a James Bond movie? No, there's no spoilers. So this is a movie that there is some obvious political parts to this movie. It is about a group of people who are trying to create havoc, and they create havoc in illegal ways, and they create havoc due to certain policies that they do not agree with. I am not in favor of people who are willing to sacrifice their freedom because there are better ways to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. But Leonardo DiCaprio plays the part of someone who gets caught up in doing things that are against the law, has to go into hiding, and ends up having to take care of a child. And it is a perfectly made movie that has a chance, Amin, to give Paul Thomas Anderson an Oscar. That's how good I think it is now. There's a lot coming out. This is the time of year. This is right now the greatness.
Coming out soon.
Right. From now until the end of December, we are about to see some amazing movies in terms of Oscars getting ready for the March ceremony. However, this movie is going to be nominated for Best Picture. I believe Leonardo DiCaprio has a very good chance for another Oscar nomination and maybe even an Oscar victory. That's how good he was. But there are a lot of performances left to see. But if you can get past sort of the political side, where this day and age people can't get past it because they take a position and then close their ears and close their brain. If you can get past that, the movie itself is phenomenal.
James Bond willingly inserts himself into an assassination plot involving a naive Russian beauty in order to retrieve a Soviet encryption device that was stolen by the evil Spectre organization from Russia with love.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
He inserts himself into a couple things.
Hey.
James.
Nothing personal with David Sampson is the show. Thank you, David, for joining us.
Thank you guys very much.
Awesome. Guys, it's time for me to issue an apology for something I said on these very airwaves this week. Earlier this week, where's my camera? Right here. Earlier this week, here's my camera, my one shot. Thank you. Earlier this week, I said some rude and disparaging remarks about a particular app that swept the nation named Sora. I said it was cheap and poorly done, and none of the videos ever came out good. I thought I provided multiple examples of such cheaptitude. Then this morning, I discovered I was wrong because I saw something made on Sora that made me completely change my mind. All right. So you guys know about this whole Jaylen Brown thing that's been happening, right?
Yep.
Jaylen Brown runs into somebody, OG Anunoby, Keyshawn George, and like his hairline rubs off on them.
Yeah.
Someone made this on Sora.
This fall, Disney and Pixar present a story about a man who couldn't help to rub off on others.
You just get paint on me?
Bro, that's on my jersey.
Jaylen,
my bad.
Maybe it's time to accept who you really are.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Yo, is that hair dye?
Receding.
I was wrong.
I told you.
You guys say Amin never admits when he's wrong. I was wrong, man.
It happened again last night.
It happened again last night, yep.
Celtics at Wizards. Got his hair all over Buddy's jersey.
Hair, I mean.
Well, it's not hair. It's
He wants you to believe it's hair.
Why?
I don't know.
First of all, I feel like, first of all, there are a lot of options. I know I'm privy to some of them where it's like they don't rub off, right? It's not just the regular Beijing. There's stuff that you can put in there and it stays and it's waterproof.
He's got that Party City. He's got that Party City. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. But number two, Jaylen Brown, you had a whole summer. Go to Turkey. Go to Colombia. Hell, they do it here, albeit way more expensive.
You got the money.
You got the money. You can make that junk happen, man.
Zaz, you're bald.
You're bald.
Have you ever thought about that? A little Turkey trip?
No.
What if someone said, I'm a generous benefactor?
Hold on. Yeah, you did radio for quite some time.
You're a
I'm
TV
sure
guy,
you got some proposals.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, no, I did stuff one time. I didn't do anything involved with Turkey, all right?
What was the thing that you did?
Yeah, what was it called?
What was it, like a temporary?
So you rub the shaving cream, you know? You rub the cream on your head. It didn't work.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Zaz.
What was your promo code?
Zaz.
Probably Zaz.
Yeah. I went to Miami Subs Grill one time and I said, Zazlo sent me.
Oh, yeah. I used to have a good buffalo chicken sandwich.
wow.
There it is.
Whoa.
That's right. Look at that right there. Zaslo's Buffalo Chicken Philly.
$5.29. What a deal.
Yeah, that'd be $20 today. Inflation.
Tariffs.
It's not our fault.
How about that? Look at that sandwich right there. During the photo shoot there, I mean.
Is that a soda, by the way?
I don't know. I didn't drink because I don't drink soda. But during the photo shoot, we're coming up with all different kinds of ways for me to, pose, whatever. They wanted me to hold the sub up like this.
And you're like, I'm not doing that.
We're not doing that.
You knew that Sora would exist one day.
Dangerous game.
Look at you, fresh-faced, not yet broken by Len Weiner.
Or mornings.
No, I was doing mornings at the time. Yeah.
Zaz, again, generous benefactor comes down and says, Jonathan Zaslow, I would like to fund your hair restoration process.
Would you do that? If someone promised you, is
it a cream or I'm doing one of the operations?
We have this new partner. Say DraftKings comes up to you. We have this new partner here.
My name is the Draft King.
It's hair restoration. They'll fly you to Turkey.
We'll fly you first class.
A whole new skull.
5-star hotel. The best dining you've ever had.
I'll be honest with you.
No soda.
I'm totally cool with how I look. Like, I'm totally cool with this.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah, but what if you had hair?
If you had hair.
Yeah, but you know what? Then I got to explain to everybody. Like, everybody would be laughing. Oh, you did an operation. Like,
come on.
No one's laughing at that.
No.
Dude, no one's laughing at these operations. They're just like, oh, he did it. Like, everyone's excited.
The code is just be honest with it.
Yeah.
Now, Landon Donovan looks ridiculous.
Well, his didn't work.
I mean, have you seen the most recent one?
Well, yeah, he's like, should I shave it? Like,
it's just a system now.
He did a whole like Instagram series on like, I think I should I come home and stuff, and all these people, Charlie Davies and all these guys, like, come on with it, let's go.
People have been open and honest about it. Joe Buck has been honest about it, and I mean, I think his hair looks better now than it did before, and no one's like, that guy got hair transplants.
No, but like, I can't
to be cute with
but I can't just all of a sudden have a head of hair.
Mike,
yes, you can.
Hold on, Mike. I'm gonna put. There's a line. There's a dividing line. There's the befores and the afters. Joe Buck and these guys all did like the old technology that would. Yeah.
Oh, now it's way better.
Now it's way better. You look at like what Matthew McConaughey or Ryan Reynolds.
He still says that he hasn't gotten a hair transplant.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds hasn't come out and said that, but he definitely got one.
What's the guy from Kingsman? What's his name?
Oh my God,
Taron Egerton.
Yeah.
Wow, you know about that Taron Egerton?
Yeah, I like Kingsman.
You watch Kingsman and not?
Yeah, those movies are good.
I mean,
it's based on Bond.
It's all derivative of James Bond.
So you tell me I don't need to see Bond?
Did you watch Austin Powers? Did you watch Austin Powers?
Yes.
Did you get the jokes? Did you get the spoof?
I'm realizing now that I probably didn't get all the jokes.
Look at Landon Donovan.
As long as you're honest, with the rare exception of Landon Donovan, as long as you're open and honest and upfront with the people on social media, I'm not trying to pull one over on you.
He's honest.
I'm not trying to get one. Yeah, but that one just looks especially ridiculous because we've just known him for so long. I mean, he burst on the scene in 2002.
I don't support this. I'm gonna say this right now.
Well, what don't you support about
that?
So
what he did is because he tried implants. The implants didn't work. So he's doing the hair system, which is basically, you see on the left, he's got the fine bomb. They shave it down. They put glue on the top of his head, and then they take someone else's hair and they stick it on top, and then they style it.
Isn't that just a piece?
Yeah, but it's glued to the top of your head.
Yeah, we call
it's one of those
it's called
deals.
The system.
Yeah, but be upfront if you have a system. Like no one. You're not trying to get one over on folks. That's where you get made fun of.
I definitely would not do that.
That's where you're like Bill Self. That's where you're like, I don't know why I'm afraid to say Ravi does it, but
don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
There was one moment. There was a video where like he had to duck because a foul ball was coming at him. I'm like, this would have been the funniest way to find out.
The hair was still up here, but he's down. So Jonathan Zaslow, you will not take up my generous offer.
Do I have to go to Turkey?
I will fly you first class.
That's why they say go to Turkey.
And first class international is not like them chairs you do.
Emirates? I'd like to fly Emirates.
Yes, a little apartment in the sky.
I've never flown Emirates before. I'd like to.
Well, it's fly Emirates.
I'd like to fly Emirates. I'd also like to fly Virgin, but...
Haven't done that in a while.
Hell!
You get perks there.
Not with your algo.
I got a good algo.
You were playing GoldenEye. You liar.
Yeah, man, come on.
No, it wasn't.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you were.
Have you seen Mission Impossible at least?
I told you what I was doing. Yes, I've seen all the Mission Impossible.
All of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I told
Pretty
you, I like
sus.
the one where Henry Cavill does the thing with his arm.
You didn't even know that was
it's
Fallout.
called Fallout.
It's the final episode of the Pitch Clock for this 2025 Major League Baseball season. We're going to go away for, I don't know, a few weeks, but we'll be back. Don't you worry. We'll have you covered for the winter meetings. But what we have for you today is the breakdown of the 2025 World Series with the Canadian himself, Adnan Virk. He'll give you the baseball fan side, and then he'll give you the tragedy as a Canadian baseball fan and that side of things. We'll also look forward to what's coming up in 2026 in Major League Baseball. And then most importantly, we have a reflective trivia game in which we will find out at the very end who won the most pitch clock trivia between Chris Cody and myself. The results may surprise you. So tune in to this week's episode of The Pitch Clock. Go back and watch all of the trivia from this year and every single episode on the Le Batard Show YouTube playlist. I so appreciate the support you guys have shown this show. This is me being incredibly earnest. Thank you for all of it. We really look forward to continuing this into the offseason and into the 2026 Major League Baseball season. Amazing year. Thank you. Dan's going to laugh at this acceptance speech. Watch The Pitch Clock.
All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it.
Whoa!
Antonio, just go sit in his chair. We'll get back to it.
I'm back, baby.
I want to hear the whole story. I just don't understand why you can't even get the name right of Carnival. And like,
It's crop over. That's fine.
Why is it called a honeymoon?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Put it on the poll, Antonio, now that you've replaced Billy in his chair. Do you know why they call it a honeymoon? Mike, do you have the sound? A very simple sound, a very simple question. Basically, I want you to hear Billy, who has a reputation for yammering and just not being able to get anything out, and he's rusty because he hasn't been paying attention to the internet for 10 days. So he came in here today, and it was just a furnace blast of news, all of it weird, disorienting. The local hour has gone someplace else.
We showed him Antonio Brown's feet.
Yeah, like he's missed a lot. I'm actually scared when I disappear for my honeymoon. I'm going to come back and I feel like things are just going to be gone. There's the possibility like the shipping container room just floated off into the Atlantic Ocean.
We're still not out of hurricane season.
Yeah, I am going to fall it's very easy to fall very far behind, very fast when it comes to the amount of stimulation and news and sports stuff that you are getting. Billy was off the grid. He comes back. Everything's changed except his inability to say anything quickly. So
he's white now.
Everything is different. Like you
That's the most efficient you've ever been.
Yes. Look at that. Did you learn something on your honeymoon? Okay, so lest you think he has cured his ills of not being efficient, please play for the audience. This is Billy Rusty returning from his honeymoon. Just him simply trying to say where he was.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, it's actually called Kadooment. But that's
for the love of God. All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it. Whoa! You would have kept going. You would have given it 20 names if I didn't cut you off and kick you out. You would have given it 20 names. Actually, the roots of the word come from the 1700s and indigenous people.
I was upset you did that to Billy his first day back, but hearing it back, he absolutely deserved it.
Again, yes. I want you to hear again, just Mike, the last part of it, where he's simply trying to say, Billy is simply trying to tell us, this is a very simple transaction. Hey, Billy, where were you? What were you doing? He gets snagged and stuck on where were you?
I've had a lot of awkwardness, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, go sit outside. How do I not get frustrated with that? Like, I missed it for 10 days, but I don't miss it anymore.
Those are important details.
I normally don't hear, but I heard it.
All right, start again then. And real quick, Mike, just the short version, Billy being asked, where were you, Billy, on your honeymoon? This is a simple question. It gets a simple response in most circumstances, unless you're talking to Billy.
So in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right, or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over, and it's at the end. Well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, Billy, we've established where you are and what it's called, kind of. Now, proceed.
All right, so this is how it works. Crop Over is like a couple months long, and Kadooment is like the grand finale, and it's like a carnival type thing, and you guys will see from time to time, every once in a while, Rihanna will go back to Barbados, and she'll be like parading in the streets, and it's like Brazilian carnival, basically. So we wanted to do that, which is not something that at all is something that I would probably ever be in my comfort zone, right? You would think me parading.
It's a lack of repressions. It is free, liberated people being themselves. So of course that's the worst place in the world for you to be soaked in fear.
Oh, it gets worse. So to participate in this, you have to sign up with what are called bands, and they have a bunch of different bands that you sign up for. So we found a band, and then I get my costume. You have to pay to get costumes. So I'm going through the streets, and I'm shirtless, and I'm in pink shorts and a cowboy hat and all this fake jewelry that they have on, that it's like massive, like this pendant around my chest and like these arm cuffs. So I'm like going through the streets dressed not in all way that I'd ever be comfortable doing it. And I thought that, you know what, it's like a parade. It'll be like the Three Kings parade that they have in you know, Dade County, and it'll be like a couple blocks, whatever, Thanksgiving Day parade. So when we're in the taxi to get there, I asked the guy, I go, how long is this parade? And he's like, oh, it's 9 to 10 miles. And I'm like, whoa. 9 to 10 miles, like that cannot be right. So I'm like feverishly looking through my phone. Like, I need to find the parade route. I need to know exactly where I'm going through Barbados. I need to know.
You're doing this with like bejeweled and all sorts of fake jewelry.
Oh yeah, dressed like a clown in the back of it. And don't get me started on Barbados taxis, because it doesn't cost 20 American dollars to go everywhere. Okay, like I went like 10 blocks. $20 is way too much to go on a taxi 10 blocks. All right.
Once you're in the cab in their territory, they've got you, Bill. It doesn't matter. You're lucky it was only $20.
Put it on the poll. Yes. Once you're on the cab in their territory, do they have you?
It's a home game for them.
A bit steep for the amount of travel that we were, like 2 miles, $20 seems like a lot, but whatever. So I find out that it's actually a 10K, which is like 6 miles. But either way, I'm not prepared to be walking through the heat dressed like a clown for 6 miles. I haven't walked 6 miles in my life, I don't think. I don't know the last time I did it. And I wasn't wearing my Fitbit, so none of the steps counted. That's the only reason I wear my Fitbit, so my steps count. But if I don't wear my Fitbit, the steps don't count. So it was a total waste of time walking through here. And I was sunburned, obviously. There was lots of
the jewelry. From the jewelry.
Oh, if I could show you the burn that
please
I had.
Please do. Like,
oh wow!
I had a giant circle here for a little bit. Yeah, there was a big circle here for a little bit. Yeah. Everyone was drinking alcohol, but I was drinking water. I thought I was going to pass out and die on the street.
You were careful and responsible at Carnival.
I had to pee so many times, and you had to pay extra to use the wee-wee cart. You know what the wee-wee cart is? I didn't. I had to ask, what is the wee-wee cart? It was basically this flatbed truck with like 6 or 7 porta potties on the back of it, and you had to just kind of hop on it while it's moving, and then go into the porta potty and then hop out.
That's a heady play, man.
That's wonderful.
That sounds delightful.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Man, you guys talk about some weird time for some ads.
So what was the most awkward visually? Like where you're wearing the costume and you find yourself in an uncomfortable place? In the cab? Or like, was there any place where you were most uncomfortable wearing that stuff?
In public. I'll show you guys the pictures. I'm not putting them out there because I don't trust the internet and I don't trust these listeners because they'll just embarrass me forever if I show you the pictures. I'll show you guys. It was ridiculous. And by the way, the things that were going on in this parade.
Yeah, sensual.
Oh, my God. Go on.
Yes.
I saw things I've never seen before.
Baby.
The best F1 minutes with Jessica Spatino.
After a blank space on the calendar, Formula One is back in Azerbaijan despite its reputation for tight corners and narrow roads. F1 is putting a sprint race in Baku. On Saturday, Charles Leclerc is fearless in pole position as the sprint begins. But at the start, London boy George Russell delivers some karma to Max Verstappen, making him a move to push him wide. Max is red, but George says, don't blame me. Number 22, Yuki Tsunoda, clips the wall and loses a tire after just 2 laps. At the restart, Sergio Perez has a lead with 5 laps left. It's time to go. Checo wins the sprint race, but Max and George have bad blood when the race ends. You guys see what I'm doing yet?
So as a lot of people know, I'm a big fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm. One of my favorite episodes of all time is one of my favorite seasons is when they're trying to do the Seinfeld finale, right? The way it should have been done. But my favorite episode that season is when Michael Richards is suffering from this disease and he's really worried and he doesn't want to do the show because he's worried about his health. And Larry David says, no, my boy Danny Duberstein had it and he's fine. And so Michael Richards says, oh, can you put me in touch with him? And Larry says, sure. And he goes to Jeff and he says, Jeff, give me Danny Duberstein's number. I got to give it to Michael Richards. And Jeff's like, Danny Duberstein's dead. When did he die? Like 2 years ago. Well, how did he die? He died of that disease that Kramer has. Like, it's a really serious disease. So Larry now realizes he can't tell Michael Richards Kramer this, so he gets Leon to dress up as Danny Duberstein to go tell him everything's going to be okay. And Michael Richards says, your name's Danny Duberstein? He's like, yeah. He's like, you're Jewish? You've been bar mitzvahs? He's like, 3 times. It's like, I thought it only happened once. Oh, no, sometimes you got to re-up the mitzvah. I bring all this up because Zazzle turned to me and says, I got some bar mitzvah gifts.
I got a bar mitzvah story for you. You're not going to, well, maybe you won't believe this. I don't know. I'll let you decide. I can't predict the future. So my mother sends me a message yesterday, all right? She texts me, and she tells me, Jonathan, can I come over this weekend? Maybe we could do dinner at the house. I was going through a bunch of my stuff recently, and I found some she capitalized some very interesting stuff you may be interested in.
Oh, no. I don't want to hear that from my mom.
Now, I don't know how she thinks that I'm going to wait until Sunday to find out this very interesting thing that she's found. So I said, of course, yeah, you can come over this weekend, but what did you find? All right. So when you're bar mitzvahed.
3 times.
It's only once.
Sometimes you got to re-up the mitzvah.
And my bar mitzvah, you feeling like you haven't done the mitzvah recently? Yeah. You got to re-up it. My bar mitzvah was 31 years ago. Okay. And
damn, you're old as fuck.
And you didn't play GoldenEye?
I told you what I was doing. So when you get bar mitzvah, you get gifts. You get a lot of good gifts. But you always got that 1 or 2 or 3 family members who get you the shittiest gift possible.
Sweater.
Oh, it's the equivalent of a sweater. The shittiest gift possible you can get when you're bar mitzvah.
Dreidel?
And no, man, Dreidel a terrible bar mitzvah guest for Hanukkah, playa. Just sit back and listen. Every Jewish young man knows exactly what the worst bar mitzvah gift is that you could possibly get. And the worst bar mitzvah gift that you could possibly get is a bond. It's
James Bond?
Worst.
I was right there
gift.
For everybody. We were all tripping over one another.
No.
We were like the Oklahoma Sooners coming out before Ole Miss. James Bond.
It's an Israeli bond. And you get the little note that they also planted a tree for your ass. All right.
In Israeli?
In Israel. In Israel, yeah.
Not even a U.S. bond, an Israeli bond.
An Israeli bond.
It's basically the same thing.
And they planted a tree for my ass, too. Now, I can't even tell you how much I don't care about either one of those things.
A tree?
I care about one of them very deeply.
So, you get the Israeli bond, you forget about it. And my mother tells me she found a bunch of bonds for my bar mitzvah.
Oh, all right, hold up.
How much?
She found a bunch of bonds that were never cashed and have accrued money.
Murray?
Over the last 31 years.
Are you about to tell me you're a millionaire?
And not only that, by the way, not only that, but a gift that I used to get when I was young as well, really young. I used to have these Disney stocks.
Oh,
no.
You're a millionaire.
Shut the hell up.
My mother found Disney stocks in my name from when I'm a little kid.
Let's buy the Blazers.
And Israeli bonds that I didn't give a shit about for my bar mitzvah, and I hate it as a gift. Well, neither of those have been realized. Neither of them have been cashed, and she's bringing them to my house this weekend.
Let's buy the Seattle Sounders.
Let's
just do it.
I don't have the exact number yet, but they're worth thousands of dollars. So how about that?
Zaz, hold up. I got a guy.
What are you disappointing? It's amazing.
How many thousands? You didn't say tens of thousands.
I don't know yet, but it's thousands of dollars.
You didn't say tens of thousands.
Time out. I have to explain something to the audio audience. We just had a graphic go over our screen. When I say to use the word amateur does not begin to describe. Please run that graphic again to celebrate Zaz's newfound wealth.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I'm like Richie Rich.
I'm back
Boom.
anti-Sora.
That's right.
Anti-Sora, man. What is that?
So I'm about to dive into it head first like Scrooge McDuck. So my mother is coming over with my bonds that I hated when I got for my bar mitzvah and a bunch of stocks from Disney, which I believe my parents got for me when I was a little kid. And neither of them have been cashed, and now they're mine.
Are you saying their current value thousands of dollars, or were they thousands of dollars back then?
No, they're like the bonds. Like, here's $100 bond, you know?
Right.
Yeah, but
That's 30
compound
years
interest
ago.
over 30 years.
Right.
That's monster.
Right.
I need someone to look this up for me. Israeli bond 31 years ago, which is what?
31 years ago.
Yeah.
94.
94. What's it worth today?
I'm on it.
I need to find out. And you said you had multiples of these.
Yeah.
Multiples of
How
these.
many? Just so roughly
I don't know. I didn't ask. She's bringing it over.
And then the Disney stock is from the 80s.
Yeah, definitely.
Dog. He might be able to buy
Yeah,
Pixar.
yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
That's right, player.
From the 80s.
That's right.
Yeah.
Found money.
So you don't know exactly how much this is.
I don't know yet.
But
I can tell you, I already know what Daddy's buying. All right. You want to take a stab at it, Mike?
Las Vegas Aces.
No, it's not.
John Cena tickets.
Bingo! That's right.
These guys are
That's right. That's right. Now we're going to see. Now I don't care how much those tickets are. Yo, boy, we're going to see John Cena in D.C. next month. Saturday night's main event. Now the question is, what is my wife going to say when she realizes that's what I'm spending the money on?
Blew all the money on.
Because these tickets are very expensive. We're talking several $1,000s to sit near the ring. And obviously, that's what your boy does when he goes to the big wrestling matches. So what is my wife going to say? I don't know. We're going to find out.
Does she know about the bonds and the
I
stocks?
told her yesterday, yeah.
Well, just
you
explain
tell
to
her?
her that it's John Cena's last match.
Yeah, she'll probably understand. No, why did I tell her? Because what's going to happen when I buy the John Cena tickets and she sees how much it costs? I've
She's
told
not
her,
going to see?
Of course she's going to see.
Why would she see how they cost?
Because we have a bank account.
No.
What do you mean? No,
Got
we do
that
have-
joint?
We do have a bank account.
You got to have another bank account.
No, I'm
That's
not
the shenanigans
I'm
account.
not one of these crazy couples that have separate
You
checking
got to
accounts.
have a shenanigans account.
Shenanigans LLC.
Come on, man.
No. We have a mutual checking account.
Shenanigans Incorporated.
Okay, well I don't have
LLC.
one.
Excellent.
Come on, man.
So your boy's going to see John Cena because the lamest bar mitzvah gifts ever. That's
'cause-
right.
Hold on. Your boy has to ask permission to see John Cena.
All of this is wrong.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which part?
The fact that you might be sitting on substantial money and you're
Hell
like, I
yeah.
get to see John Cena. Once I run it by my wife.
No. There's no running it by
That's
my
exactly
wife.
how that went.
It's how
exactly
my
how it
wife is
That's how you
going to
presented that.
react.
Boys, I got some bad news.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
The Zaslow mansion may take a little bit of a hit here. No. The value of an Israeli bond from 1994 depends entirely on its face value specific to what type it is. Was it a Jubilee? Was it a Mazel Tov? Or was it a Maccabee?
I don't know.
Okay, and its interest rate and maturity date, Israeli bonds from 1994 would have matured some time ago. Most Israeli bonds have a maturity of up to 10 or 15 years, though some bond types are shorter or longer and generally do not accrue interest after maturity.
Okay, well, but when it matured, how much am I talking about here?
I think it said from $100 it might be 164.
No way. No way.
Check out the Disney stock.
No way. My mother told me it's thousands of dollars.
She may have been wrong.
How much Disney stock? Do we know?
Is your mom
I
wrong?
don't know.
Do you know? Remember what year? You said you were a little kid. How old?
80s. It's got to be late
85. Let's say 87? 87.
Sure.
I'll do
Running Man year. Oh, man.
I thought these were the worst gifts, man.
They are the worst gifts.
They're the
apparently.
worst gifts.
No, they are the worst gifts.
Killian, I'll be back. Only in a rerun.
Oh, ass off to Richard Dawson, man. All
Yo,
right.
don't try and rain on my parade here, Tony. I'm
just
telling
trying
you.
to help you, buddy.
My mother knows. She told me it's worth thousands of dollars.
I don't know if she knows.
She knows.
So while Tony does the research on the Disney stock from the late 80s, I want to talk about how Mad Dog reacted to some of the Dodgers kind of shenanigans, to use that word again. We have that clip?
When you're a national broadcaster and you're the voice of the sport on a big stage, when you did 1 million playoff games, and then they, in one of the crippling losses that a franchise is going to have in the history of the sport, that's as bad a loss as you're ever going to have. And I got Joe, basically the body's not even cold yet. And I got Joe at Dodger Stadium doing the freaking Dodger parade. Oh, my God. That's bad. I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. You can say I'm screaming and yelling about nothing. That would piss me off if I'm a Blue Jay fan. I got Joe Davis shaking everybody's hand. Give me a shaking freaking Ohtani's hand, and he's freaking wacky, getting rings.
Bailed on
He's the
Yamamoto.
announcer for the World Series. You think Kirk Gowdy was getting any of this nonsense?
Kirk Gowdy.
You think Garagiola was doing a parade in '82 with the Cardinals?
I was wondering what he was doing.
Oh, my God. And he's got the trophy right there. God, if you're a Blue Jay fan, you're vomiting right now. That is bad. I don't care what you say. That is, you could say I'm being hard. That's ridiculous, Chris. What's the big deal? He does the games. Nonsense. He's the voice of the World Series. He's supposed to be right down the middle. Obviously, he's rooting his ass off for the Dodgers in the World Series. And everybody who I spoke to hated the idea. They sensed he was rooting for the Dodgers throughout the World Series. And his call at the end was ridiculous. You got to be a champion and knock whatever he said about knocking a defending champion out. And then he's waxing poetic about Kershaw at the end of the game that nobody in America cared about. Oh, my God. That's bad. And that's wrong. And that's not the way you do it. I don't care. Call me anything you want. Call me an old man on a hill screaming, get off my lawn, say anything you want. That's bogus. The Dodgers should have done him a favor. Joe, you know what? You're the voice of the team. We just won a classic. Why don't you lay low here? We'll get somebody else to do this.
It's like
Why
he's
don't
on
you
the
lay
lamb.
low? We'll get David Vassay does the pre and post. Why don't you lay low? This is not the time for you. You're the voice of baseball in postseason play. You can't be doing our parade, waxing poetic about us at the Blue Jays' expense. Wrong. Top of the hour.
He's going to get a ring, Joe Davis.
Our GOAT.
Of course he is. He's the voice of the Dodgers.
Yep.
He's the only guy other than Vince Scully to call Dodgers games.
Right. For people who don't understand, not only is Joe Davis the voice of the Dodgers, but in that parade, like he's the MC.
Which is typical.
Yes.
Fitzgerald up in Golden State, he's the MC every time they win a
Steve
championship.
Goldstein each year, the Panthers, absolutely.
Like that's typical.
Yes.
If the Knicks win the championship,
It'll be Mike Breen.
Mike Breen is going to be doing that.
Yeah, you would
Mike
assume.
Breen is also the guy. I guess that's the difference in that Joe Davis and Mike Breen are also the guys that do the call for the national broadcast.
Yeah.
But I think all of us can agree they're very professional. I never watched that and for one moment thought, oh, this guy wants the Dodgers to win.
I got to tell you, if I'm a Blue Jays fan,
I don't care.
Like dogs going nuts over it. If I'm a Blue Jays fan, God, I don't care. I just don't care.
I want to vomit because we lost.
Right.
Not because the guy who called the game is like, whoa, that's him at the parade. What's he doing there?
I do agree with Dog there. I didn't like the final call. I thought it was
You didn't like it?
I thought it was a weird final
They
call.
always try to do something like with gravitas.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm with Dog on that one. I didn't like it.
So you think it was nonsense? He's the voice of the World Series. He's supposed to be right down the middle. Obviously, he's rooted his ass off on the Dodgers. Yeah, yo, if we could get just the
Can we
part
find
where
It was a clutch move. Like he knew, oh, I'm in trouble here.
I don't have that one. Parachute this one out.
he pulled the red cord.
By the way, doing a little investigating here on the Disney stocks.
How much do I owe? How much do I have?
Now you're talking, okay?
Okay.
The Israeli bonds, cooked.
Yeah.
Cooked on.
Sorry
I
to
don't
tell
think
you.
it's cooked, man.
Sorry to tell you.
I think I got a lot of money coming my way.
60
I don't
extra
think you know how
bucks.
bonds work, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't think you know how bonds work. But with stocks, okay, so I'm looking at 1987 is kind of the year that we said. Could
Sounds
be
about
earlier,
right.
could be later, but whatever. The price for those Disney stocks was $348 at that time.
Okay.
Disney's trading right now for $109.
There you go.
Little bit of a down year.
There you
for
go.
Disney, but to what Mike said, what I was looking up, what I wanted to see is there's been many stock splits. So
that's good when they split. That's
so
good.
for people that don't know, in the investing world, a stock gets to a certain point, they split it, and it creates more stocks.
So you
right?
double up.
So
You had one,
there
now
was
you got
a March of 1986. So hopefully you got them in before 86, which we don't know. But there was a 4-for-1 stock split.
Woo!
Then in May of 92, another 4-for-1
That's
stock
when
Hell
split.
yeah.
The
That's
movie started.
16 if you're looking.
Hell yeah.
When the
Okay.
movie started rolling out, they were like, "Oh, we got this."
July of 98, a 3-for-1 stock split.
Hell yeah.
So now we're looking at Even more. I don't have
I'm
the
pretty
math.
sure I'm rich now.
The most recent split,
It goes like
June 07.
Give me my money graphic.
1-for-1 split. So you're looking at 4, 4, 3, and another split.
I'm looking at being rich is what we're looking at.
So you're looking at potentially. We don't know the number of stocks you have.
Yeah.
We'll find that out when your mom shows up.
Probably enough to retire.
Better hope.
342 to 109
Split.
but with all the splits
Split
involved,
11
yeah.
ways or more.
All right, if I'm not here Monday, you know why.
Give me a yo mama shaking freaking
Yo, mama.
I found out why it's called begonia.
What's it called?
Begonia refers to a classical myth about a ritualistic method to spontaneously generate bees from a sacrificed bull's carcass. Now, part of the backdrop of this film is the two kidnappers blame this tech CEO for a bee colony collapse.
yo mama.
Hey, you guys want to play a game?
Let's play a game. What do you got?
I got Real or Fake podcast.
Oh, I love this game.
That's what I'm talking
Listen
about.
up. Time to think fast. Is this a real or fake podcast?
That's pretty much the rules. You guys have to figure out if something is a real or fake podcast. Sometimes it may seem easy. Sometimes it may seem very difficult. But we have fun along the way. First one up.
Okay.
The Keith Bullock Show.
That's
Is
just
that-
what it's called?
Does
Is that
Keith
a
Bullock,
real or fake podcast?
So the question here is, does Keith Bullock have a podcast?
Right. Yeah, so I'm going to go real then.
Well, don't look it up. What are
I'm
you
not
doing?
looking anything up.
You're just,
No, I'm not.
Yeah, text
Screw you.
message.
Not looking anything up. How dare you?
I'm gonna go fake. It's too straightforward. I don't think he has a podcast.
The Keith Bullock Show is fake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just too straightforward. Although I like it. I like it as a change up there, Mike.
Free Range with Von Miller.
Oh, that's real.
I'm going fake.
That's real. Vaughn.
What does free range mean?
Like cowboy shit, man. He always be wearing cowboy hats and
He's
stuff.
not cowboy shit.
He's cowboy.
I'm going fake.
He's cowboy.
Loves Farms.
It's got chickens.
Yep. Free range. I'm going real.
It is a brand new real
I
podcast.
told you,
Hey.
I'm 2 for 2.
Megapod with Calvin Johnson.
Calvin. I feel like if Calvin
Megatron.
Johnson had a podcast, we would have heard about it, and also wouldn't have called it Megapod.
Why? His nickname is Megatron.
I know, but Megapod.
It almost makes too much sense.
Just admit you didn't know that was his nickname.
Yeah, I didn't know the Georgia Tech grad is named Megatron.
I'm going real.
I'm gonna go fake.
Fake.
Oh.
3 for 3, baby.
Next one. Pugilist Specialist with Lennox Lewis.
Wordy, way too erudite. That sounds like Lennox Lewis to me. Who, by the way, do you guys know this? He grew up with Russell Peters, the stand-up comedian. Like they're friends. Like his mom knows him and everything.
Perhaps it's something they cover in Pugilist Specialist.
I'm gonna
with
go.
Lennox
I'm gonna go
Lewis.
real. Zaz?
He's thinking.
Yeah.
You know what pugilist means?
Yeah, no. Do I look like someone who doesn't know what pugilist
You
means?
look like a little confused,
All
buddy.
right, stop talking. I'm going real.
Tony, you want to venture a guess?
It's fake.
It is indeed fake.
Oh, I'm 3 for 4.
And finally, Clipboard Jesus with Charlie Whitehurst.
That's got to be fake. No one's calling themselves Jesus.
His nickname when he played was Clipboard Jesus
I'm gonna
because
say
he
you know
looked
that?
like
Real.
Jesus.
I actually
you know
didn't
that?
know that.
Yeah, you didn't know
Ah, someone didn't know a nickname, huh?
that. Yeah. I'm going real.
It is fake.
Ah, shit. 3 for
And it's
5.
a tough game.
3 for 5.
Hey, that's still a success.
That's
This
pretty
game
good.
can be really hard sometimes.
I did it, man. I lived it. You know what I love? I watch Pluto TV, and they always have ads for what's my man, the fighter and the kid or whatever, that
Yeah.
podcast. They have a million ads for it every time, and I'm just like, should I be advertising on Pluto TV? Because I don't know if you know this, Zaz. Pluto TV is the future.
Why? What's so good about
We're
it?
going
I always
back
see
to
the app.
We're going back to channel surfing, pal.
Oh man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always see the app, but I never click on it.
You got YouTube, you got Disney fighting. I'm sick of all of it. I pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars, probably equal to the Israeli bonds that you have in streaming services.
Man, you pay a lot then.
And still, I sit down and I'm like, I don't want to watch any of this stuff. I miss, as a child that grew up in the 90s, I miss channel surfing.
You just grab a remote and go up, 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 and then you see something on your screen that's already in progress. And I'm like, you have my attention.
I'm a Pluto TV guy now.
Pluto TV. Let me tell you where Pluto TV is most clutch. The most clutch.
Do you have to pay subscription for it?
It's free.
It's free.
Gratis.
Yeah,
Mad
it's free.
ads.
And
Now
you
what
get,
channels does it get?
You get ads.
Not any more ads than regular television.
Yeah, regular television.
What kind of
ads.
channels you get?
Dude, the channels are outstanding. If you like movies, we got that. There's just a 90s movie channel that Forrest Gump was
So
playing
why
on.
don't I have Pluto app?
You just get it.
I don't understand why you
it's
don't
free.
have the Pluto app.
So this is the
There's
new thing.
sports.
Mike, you travel a lot.
I do,
You see
dude.
more and more of these hotels.
I know exactly where it's the most clutch.
Where?
Airbnbs.
/ hotels.
I don't
You get into the hotel room, and I'm like, okay, you got local news. All right, oh, MSNBC, NBC, Fox, and all that stuff. Okay, well, hello, you got a Pluto TV. I get in there, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm doing? I'm tuning into that Bar Rescue channel.
Yes.
I'm watching back to back.
They have a
to
channel
back
that just shows Bar
just
Rescue
Bar
episodes?
Rescue
Just
episodes.
Bar Rescue. They have
at
channels
random.
that just show you like I Love Lucy.
I Love
you might
Lucy.
be Jonathan Zaslow may say to himself, "Man, I love Lucy."
I don't.
Well, there's an entire channel dedicated to I Love Lucy. Did you like MTV, but in the 90s?
Yeah.
We got a channel for you.
Zaz, how about the A-Team? Would you like to just watch the A-Team
man.
episodes back to back to back?
I like the
They have an A-Team channel. Hey, do you want to watch black movies from the 90s
Yes.
specifically?
And they'll hit you over the head right on the nose. That's what it's called. Black movies from the 80s.
Wow.
The Golden Child,
So what does
followed
it
by
show?
Beverly Hills Cop. Like,
Yeah, on
Ooh, I
Pluto
love
app at
Beverly
any
Hills
given
Cop.
time. Booty Call is on, Forrest Gump is on, Predator is on,
all of them.
and Bob Ross just painting away.
You want to watch Bob Ross
24/7.
nonstop?
Not really.
Are you high off your ass? Want to melt in your couch? Bob Ross channel.
Did I mention that they have a Bar Rescue channel? And if you love Bar Rescue, there's a new podcast called Here's the Science, a Bar Rescue podcast. It's me, it's Zach Harper, it's Chelsea Reynolds, it's Colin Castard. Get it wherever you get podcasts. Support it, especially if you work in the industry. Especially, we're having guests. If you work in the industry, especially if you worked at a bar that was rescued, a bar rescued bar, you're going to come on our show. We're going to ask you about the experience.
That's a great title for the pod.
Here's the science.
I love how he would just.
Was your
"Here's
bar
the science."
rescued by Bar Rescue?
You just give people.
Did you
ream of
know-
paper. Here's the science.
Mike, did you know that if you get a customer to order food, they're more likely to stay up to 50 minutes longer?
I do know that,
Yeah. That's the kind of science you learn on Here's the Science. But back to Pluto TV.
dude. I saw.
It is the future.
I saw a bartender scoop ice with the glass.
Oh, no.
And I screamed, "Shut it down!"
Yeah.
you can't
gotta-
be doing that.
You got to
Why can't
burn
you
that.
do that?
Because you can break the glass.
You're going to kill somebody.
You can kill somebody.
Yo, mama.
Ice looks like glass.
You got to burn it. You don't know this?
No, I don't know about Pluto. That's why we're talking about it.
We're talking about
It
bars.
used to be a planet.
Telling you,
Still
Pluto
is.
TV.
Dwarf Planet.
We're all gonna go back. We're going back, Jack. If you watch, like, I love what WPLG did, which is like, we don't need ABC. We'll just be live and local. We're just gonna concentrate on local. They even have some Heat games. Like we're just, if you live in Miami, we're for you. More of
WPLG. That's how I learned. That's how I learned about the fire.
As everything is artificial and algorithm,
Oh.
people are gonna be gravitating to something that is grittier, more real, more sense of community. And also, they're going to realize, man, this shit was better in the 90s.
Oh, my
I
God.
miss channel surfing, and Pluto TV does that.
Zaz, you know what I love? So, for instance, that Bar Rescue channel. One would think, I was like, oh, okay, so they start with season 1, episode 1, and then 2. And no. It's all random. It's all random from all eras of the Bar Rescue show. It reintroduces that feeling of mystery. I don't know what's coming next. That's the thing that kids are missing. They don't know about that. How you used to be turn on the TV like, oh, this is my favorite episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then you just sit down, and then the next episode is like, wait, Aunt Viv is back to the old Aunt Viv. Oh, yeah, because that's how it is, man.
I was watching the Bob Ross channel last night, and I saw a rerun. It was one that I saw when I was in an Airbnb in D.C. for
Nice.
MLS All-Star. I'm like, I've seen this one. This one's great. I watched the whole thing twice.
Mike, if I may, I've got Pluto TV in front of me right now. I'd like to shout out some of the channels and what they're playing.
Go through the program.
First channel I've got in front of me called TV Land Drama.
What is that about?
They've got shows like Jag. Right now, Diagnosis Murder is playing.
Solid.
Right? Then we've
Yale
got
Street Blues?
Diagnosis Murder,
How about Prognosis Negative?
Is Matlock on that one, or does Matlock have its own channel? Because I know Columbo has its own channel on Pluto.
I think Matlock has its own channel.
Good.
We got a Bobby
Sometimes
Flay.
I just want to watch Matlock and only Matlock.
We've got a Bobby Flay channel. They're playing Brunch at Bobby's Slumber Party. We've got a...
Was it brunch or was it a slumber party?
Well, it's a little bit of both. They woke up. Guess what?
At Bobby's place.
What's for brunch?
We've got BET throwbacks right now.
Oh,
dude. 5 minutes left in an episode of Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, that's great. Do they play old rap cities?
No, because next we have Everybody Hates Chris, which is also a great one. Hey, would you like Pluto trending now? How about you watch 28 Days Later, the movie?
Ooh, I want to see that.
There you go. Pluto. What about Pluto Icons? You want to watch Mermaids, Winona Ryder, Cher?
Nah.
No, but that's why you keep flipping the
Hey,
channels.
Hey, my friend here, he's never watched James Bond. Could it be that there's a Pluto 007?
No.
The World Is Not Enough?
No.
Right now,
Right
2
now.
hours and 35 minutes left, followed by Die Another Day.
You know who did the song for The World Is Not Enough?
Ooh, let me think. Adele.
No, garbage.
Zaz, how about The World Is Not Enough? James Bond uncovers a nuclear plot while protecting an oil heiress from her former kidnapper, an international terrorist who can't feel pain.
And the sequel to that
That sounds good.
was Die Another Day. You know who did the song to that?
Adele.
No, Madonna.
James Bond is sent to investigate a connection between North Korean terrorists and a diamond mogul who's funding the development of an international space weapon.
Ooh,
Die Another
weapons,
Day.
man.
Hey, Roy, I want to watch a movie that has Wesley Snipes, but is based on a Michael Crichton book. You have any
Passenger
suggestions?
57.
Not a Michael Crichton book.
You ever see Skyfall?
No.
You know who did the song for Skyfall?
Let me think.
Drop Zone.
Adele.
Actually, you're right there.
Oh, there it
Should do that one.
Knew it.
When the sky falls, right? That was it. The Art of War was the answer.
Oh, The Art of War, yeah.
You know I could watch The Art of War?
What is that?
Sure it wasn't
Pluto-
Passenger 57?
Pluto Action. Followed by The Art of War 2, Betrayal, and The Art of War 3, I don't even know what that...
Sequels to this movie?
Yeah. How about Pluto Reaction? We got Species, The Awakening. Ooh. How about Pluto Fantastic, Divergent, the Divergent series? How about Pluto Comedy, the 4:30 movie, followed by Bull Durham? How about Pluto Drama, Coach Carter, followed by Amistad? How about Pluto Romance, Clueless, followed by Sleepover? How about BT Cinema on Pluto, Jackie Brown? Dave Damashek.
Great movie.
Dude, they have a ton of movies that you would watch if you were just flipping through the channels, but when you sit down on your couch, you have decision fatigue. You're like David Blatt, you're a fighter pilot. I got so many options, I just can't make a single one. Please, Pluto, make my decision for me. Clueless, that sounds lovely. I can half pay attention to that. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, you want to watch Jackie Brown? When that's over, you can watch Flight. God help me. God help me.
I'm drunk right now.
That plane was upside down.
You saw my boy Denzel work?
Should have given him a medal landing that plane upside down.
Tony, this one's for you. Right now on Pluto Thrillers, The Running Man.
Oh.
Followed by Basic Instinct, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Mike, you like horror movies? How about Succubus? That's on right now, Pluto Horror. On Pluto Terror, we've got Scream 3. On Pluto 2000's replay, we have Joe Dirt. On Pluto
This is the greatest thing.
90s throwback, Saving Private Ryan. Pluto 80s Rewind, Platoon. Pluto 70s Cinema Rancho Deluxe. Movie Channel Pluto. I don't know why that's a different
I honestly want to strip away all my other apps here and you talk. Right now, like there's no reason.
If you
why
told me,
am I HBO Maxing?
you
Well, because
are
I'm on there.
destitute.
That's why I'm HBO Maxing.
Let me tell you something. If they told me you're destitute, all you can afford is your internet bill and that's it. Can't afford Netflix,
That's not
HBO
so bad.
Max. All that. I'd miss them. I'd miss them. But you know what will keep me warm at night? Pluto TV.
It's just great for when you don't know what to watch.
By the way, they also have an on-demand section.
Now, I'm going to miss my sports. I like my Premier League soccer. That's why I keep it on the cock. But
Yeah, love the cock.
Yes. But movies, flipping through, sometimes you don't know what you want to watch and you need them to speak to you.
Can I say something? Let me speak directly to our friends at NBC and Peacock.
Go look right at your camera.
They do have fast channels. They do have some of this.
They do have fast channels, and I do appreciate them.
You like that Stone Phillips? They got you.
This is what I need from them, though.
Look right into your camera.
I need Insights to Excellence, a fast channel for that. I was looking for it this week. Didn't get an episode.
Ah, they're making you yearn for it.
Getting antsy.
Isn't it a little crazy that he used one of these episodes to lament load management?
He didn't lament.
Why is that crazy?
He didn't lament.
Well, because he did this all in one shooting.
He didn't lament it, Michael. He didn't lament it. Lamento ball.
I mean, I'd like to see fresh ones. I'd like for him to talk about Tiago.
This is
Splitter.
fresh. Have you seen it before? It's fresh then.
But I like for him to react to Tiago Splitter and what he's and this incredible turnaround of the Portland Trail
I
Blazers.
want him to hear about Tar Eason.
Yeah, it's like, tell me more about Cason Wallace. AJ Mitchell's getting more minutes. Tell me more, Michael.
Definitely real names that I've heard before.
Oh man, I just want right here. Give me a belt. You got a belt? You ain't got no belt.
Man.
You wear belts?
No.
Me neither.
Trying to be comfortable, dog.
I don't wear belts ever.
Yeah, me neither.
Never worn a belt.
Y'all ain't up on that Insights to Excellence?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I like it.
I don't like the tone.
I like it.
Why? It's great. I want more of it.
I want more of it. That's why I said I like it.
I'm just like
I like them.
I was disappointed, Peacock, this week. Like, where was it?
That's why I only said I like it because I was looking for it this week and I couldn't find it.
Let me tell you right now. You give me some
Instead, I
insights.
got Atlanta and Orlando.
Good game.
Yeah, but no Insights to Excellence in the middle.
Yeah, good game, though. All right, here we go. Right here.
Wow.
I need Insights into Excellence right there. That's what I needed right there.
Wow, make me uncomfortable.
Is it? That's how you get the veins popping, man. You ever play train spotting? You know about the train spotting?
Yeah, I know about train spotting, but I never played train spotting.
How you spot the train then?
You ever freebase?
Buddy.
Richard Pryor did.
Oh,
I
too soon.
invented freebasing.
Too soon.
Too soon? No, you didn't.
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon. Come on. Come on. Respect the legend.
You got singed eyebrows, man.
Oh, Mountain Dew bottle.
Look, here's the deal, man. Some people like to play it fast and loose.
Get some of that Bolivian.
Yeah. Marching.
You don't have to deal with any of the nose stuff.
Too uncomfortable. Start to sneezing. Now everyone's mad.
You just need a hit.
Just one.
Just one.
Just
you don't
a
have to
taste.
deal with the nose running at all. This is stuff that people that I know have done this have told me.
Nose.
Look, man. Y'all here? It's like you're a bird. You see this? You see this around the Elser? All these turkey vultures? Gliding. You know what they're doing? They're freebasing.
That's what it's like?
That's what it's like, baby.
You'll be chasing that first high for the rest of your life.
Oh, my gosh.
Or so they say.
Wow.
It sounds great.
Right around the corner.
But it will destroy your lives.
That's what Insights to Excellence feels like to me.
It'll destroy your life?
Intervene. Like, I'm going to abandon all of my responsibilities. That's why, Tony. That's why they give it to us in microdoses. Because if they gave you the whole shebang,
too much.
We'd all be like, it'd be like Pulp Fiction. Someone needs to stab us in the heart with an adrenaline needle. Wake us up.
Oh, it's the adrenaline shot.
Yeah, man. Could you do that? Do you think you could do that to someone?
Like, can I be the person who?
Would you ever like?
Can you be Vincent
look
Vega?
around? You look around and like, okay, I guess I'm the person that has to put this adrenaline needle in Uma Thurman's heart.
I could do it.
You think
you
you
think
could?
you do it?
Gotta do it hard enough to smash through the breastplate, though.
Yeah.
I could do it.
Man.
You could?
Gotta stab her
seriously.
3 times?
Like no bit?
No, you don't gotta stab her 3 times.
No bit? Like, would you?
Could you?
Yeah.
You know where the heart is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
It's right
of
here.
it.
It's right here.
Tony, can the Rockets keep this up all season long?
That's a good point. I'm looking around saying, all right, 2 big, 3 big, 5 big lineup. Like, is at some point, like, Amen Thompson going to be the answer at point guard? Obviously, Fred VanVleet, we know he's out.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like they're not going to make a trade for a point guard anywhere. So it's like, all right, we're going to let Amen play point.
Yeah, why do they need one? Like, he's a really big point guard.
Sure, but like he's still super raw and super green at playing the position, right? It's like
really
the same
good,
thing as
man.
Cooper Flag. Like, oh, we're playing him at point.
Oh, but he's got
mean a
82
good
games
point
to
guard.
figure it out.
Sure, okay. But then when everything slows down in the playoffs, is he going to be 82 games worthy of like, all right, I know what I'm doing versus having his entire career playing basketball and knowing how to play point? Like at some point, something's got to come to a head. Either they're going to be the biggest team and just maul everybody, or they're going to get to a point where in the half court, it's going to be like, oh shit, KD, here's the ball, try and do something.
I like the idea like they played Memphis last night and they went small. And by small, I mean they started Thompson, Jabari Smith-Shingun, Josh Okogie, Kevin Durant.
Everybody's like 6'10".
It's like that. That's their small lineup. Thompson in the playoffs, decision making left a lot to be desired, and it was understandable. Energy, young guy, first time in the playoffs, playing against Golden State Steph Curry. So there is some jitters there, but I hear what you're saying. Is like you need that kind of old head. Fred VanVleet, Mike Conley. These guys are just like, everyone settle down.
I got you.
Don't panic. I know they've scored a couple. What we're going to do is we're going to organize this thing and get it going.
Another good game for Ja last night.
Why are you on Ja, man?
What do you mean, why am I? It's the biggest story in the league right now. What do you mean, why am I on Ja?
Like, it's...
You're not monitoring him? Got to monitor him.
I'm monitoring him, but like I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, here goes Ja, another 6 of 19 performance.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Because I know what's happening. What's happening is he is at odds with his coach. And by the way, they asked him about that too. You guys see this? Tuamas Isolo?
Last night?
Last night, because Jaren Jackson didn't have a great game either. And so they were asking him about that. And he said, and I've got the quotes right here, believe me.
It was a weird start, though, too, because Jaren Jackson, like, you figure, all right, if they're not building around Ja, they're going to build around Jaren Jackson. But then he has six shots in a game, and you're like, who are we building around?
He said his efficiency's been up about Jaren Jackson. I think he's shooting the best, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, for us in this situation, we'd love to have him more involved in the offense. Like today, I'm looking at these numbers, and they are what they are. I can't really trust them. So obviously, the half-court offense is not in sync. I don't know.
And it looks it, by the way.
How do you feel about the energy levels? Like I said, very inconsistent. It comes and it goes. We need to do a better job.
You're in the NBA, like, you know what you need to do, unless you don't. And that's the weird part about it, right? Like, it just seems like everybody's in flux in Memphis, and you got one guy who's fighting with the organization. You got one guy who got paid, and he's like, I guess I'm going to do what they tell me to do, even though, like, I don't really know what we're doing. Just a weird situation. Anyways, all your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season, like Ja Morant. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DAN. That's code DAN to get $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass plus $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Yo, mama.